In the grid of a million screens, he moves like a ghost through code and beams. A chrome-crossed night with a focused eye, breaking down every false disguise. Spam wars flood the open gate. He reads the lies, he seals the breach. Every threat that tries to crawl meets a wall, meets a wall. Hear the call, the signal rise from the coast to mountain skies. When the shadows try to land, we stand. America, hold the line. America, tonight is mine. Tactical Templar, online, guard the flame, defend the light. America, hold the line. America, we rise, we rise. Templar, online, steal the heart, defend the light. In the dark of the midnight feed, he plants truth like a battle creed. No surrender, no retreat, just the thunder under his feet. From the screen to the steadfast shore, he stands for the things worth fighting for. One nation loud and alive. We endure, we survive. America, hold the line. America, tonight is mine. Tactical Templar, online, guard the flame, defend the light. America, hold the line. America, we rise, we rise. Tactical Templar, online, steal the heart, defend the light. Hold the line. We rise, we rise, we rise, we rise. Tactical Templar, defend the light. Morning breaks on the interstate. Steel birds cut the pale blue haze. From the farms to the harbor gates, one bright flag in a million ways. Hands that build and hands that mend, hard-won miles from end to end. Every road and river name burns like iron in our veins. Hear the call, the signal rise from the coast to mountain skies. When the shadows try to land, we stand. America, hold the line. America, tonight is mine. Tactical Templar, online, guard the flame, defend the light. America, hold the line. America, we rise, we rise. Tactical Templar, online, steal the heart, defend the light. In the grid of a million screens, he moves like a ghost through code and beams. A chrome-crossed night with a focused eye, breaking down every false disguise. Spam wars flood the open gate. He reads the lies, he seals the breach. Every threat that tries to crawl meets a wall, meets a wall. Hear the call, the signal rise from the coast to mountain skies. When the night feed. He plants truth like a battle creed. No surrender, no retreat, just the thunder under his feet. From the screen to the steadfast shore, he stands for the things worth fighting for. One nation, loud and alive. We endure, we survive. Junk and bone, cheap trinkets stacked like a rusted throne. He sold his soul for a price tag grin and fed on the shame that he called a win. He raised black banners in the dawn, pointing at songs till the voices were gone. But every lie leaves a stain in stone, and every thief ends up standing alone. False flag burn, your banners turn to ash. False flag alert, the crowd has joined at last. Greed in your hands and envy in your eyes. False flag fall when the whole world rises. He hunted cards in the velvet haze, chasing bright treasure through fevered days, flipping his relics for silver and pride, while faithful friends were cast aside. He called for the chains, for the mute, for the break, for every voice he could make the world take. But the halls grew loud with the thunderous call, and neighbors stood shoulder to shoulder in fall. No crown for the man who feeds on fear, no feast for the one who poisons the year. He dragged his name through mud and fire, then found the bridge burned by his own desire. False flag burn, your banners turn to ash. False flag alert, the crowd has joined at last. Greed in your hands and envy in your eyes. False flag fall when the whole world rises. Now the masks come off in the war drum rain, and the liar hears his his own name break. No throne survives when the people sing. No fraud outlives the dawn we break. Like stolen prize. His tower was packed with junk and bone. Cheap trinkets stacked like a rusted throne. He sold his soul for a price tag grin and fed on the shame that he called a win. He raised black banners in the dawn, pointing at songs till the voices were gone. But every line leaves a stain in stone, and every thief ends up standing alone. False flag burn, your banners turn to ash. False flag learn, the crowd has joined at last. Greed in your hands and envy in your eyes. False flagger fall when the whole world rises. He hunted guards in a velvet haze, chasing bright treasure through fever days, flipping his relics for silver and pride, while faithful friends were cast aside. He called for the change, for the mute, for the brave, for every voice he could make the world take. But the halls grew loud with a thunderous call, and neighbors stood shoulder to shoulder in fall. No crown for the man who feeds on fear, no feast for the one who poisons the year. He dragged his name through mud and fire, then found the bridge burned by his own desire. False flagger burn, your banners turn to ash. False flagger learn, the crowd has joined at last. Greed in your hands smear black crown spinning his rock through the halls of the feed. He poured out doubt to drag us down and fed on panic like it was need. But the editor sharpened every frame, the streamer raised his painted blade, the podcaster lit up the name, and none of us flinched, none of us swayed. Hear the signal split the night, one shared vow, one burning thread. Every channel locks in tight, every brave word raised instead. Tactical Templar, lead us on. Tactical Templar, bring the dawn. We stand as one, we hold the line. 1,000 voices, one design. Tactical Templar, break their scheme. Tactical Templar, forge the dream. No broken gate, no dark decree. The creators march, and all are free. Raise the shields of truth and craft. Hold the torches high and true. We are more than mock and draft. We are the tide he cannot do. In the glow of 100 screens, Tactical Templar draws his steel. From thumbnail banners to comet beams, he calls the scattered to the wheel. Bite by bite, the banners rise from basement desks and kitchen floors. Writers, gamers, camera eyes all answer now with iron roars. Hear the signal split the night, one shared vow, one burning thread. Every channel locks in tight, every brave word raised instead. Tactical Templar, lead us on. Tactical Templar, bring the dawn. We stand as one, we hold the line. 1,000 voices, one design. Tactical Templar, break their scheme. Tactical Templar, forge the dream. No broken gate, no dark decree. The creators march, and all are free. Then came the quartering with the smear black crown spinning his rot through the halls of the feed. He poured out doubt to drag us down and fed on panic like it was need. But the editor sharpened every frame, the streamer raised his painted blade, the podcaster lit up the name, and none of us flinched, none of us swayed. Hear the signal split the night, one shared vow, one burning thread. Every channel locks in tight, every brave word raised instead. us on. Tactical Templar, bring the dawn. We stand as one, we hold the line. 1,000 voices, one design. Tactical Templar, break the scheme. Tactical Templar, forge the dream. No broken gates, no dark decree. The Creator's march, and all are free.
Hello, brothers. Welcome back to the show. It's so good to see you guys again on this Tuesday afternoon. Guys, I have a jam-packed show for you today. We're going to be looking at Amy Coney Barrett. That's right, Amy Coney Barrett. She was begging in front of Congress. Begging. That's right. Oh, please, sir. Please, can I have some more money and some more security? Here's the deal. I'll just be honest. All right? We're going to cover that segment. I'm just going to let you guys know my opinion up front. You know, I'm going to be honest. First of all, I don't think that women should be in politics. And I think this is one of the reasons. Because you have somebody like Amy Coney Barrett that's obviously extremely bothered by this, and I understand. It's, you know, doxing, swatting, all that stuff. It's absolutely terrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's egregious. But the issue here is that you have a person that is obviously being manipulated, obviously being, you know, they're being pressured by this in a major way. And I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good at all. I think that you need people like Clarence Thomas. You need people like Clarence Thomas that are going to have the resolve and the grit and the determination to remain strong and remain resolute and remain vigilant, even in the face of this overwhelming evil that we're seeing from these far leftists. And to be fair, what was his name? Why am I blanking on his name? Kavanaugh. Brett Kavanaugh. Even he had an encounter with some absolute crazies. Absolute crazies. So it's not just, oh, you know, these women are just complaining. No, it's a reality that getting into politics is part of the job, unfortunately. And if you're going to let this make your determinations and decisions, you have no place. So, what I will say is I think that Amy Coney Barrett, I think she should resign. I do. I think she's been terrible for this country. I think she's been one of the worst choices that Trump has picked. So we're gonna talk about all of that. Also, we're gonna talk about the SAVE Act because there's some shenanigans. The Congress passed it. The Senate is playing games. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what happens with the SAVE Act. But we have a lot of different things to go over. There is a renewed war on physical media, but now this time it's in manga, where you've got these companies that they're trying to create a monopoly. They're trying to create a monopoly. We're also going to be watching, the Quartering's new vlog channel. Because boy, oh boy, is this interesting. But first and foremost, to anyone listening, I'd like to remind you of something, okay? We're also going to be talking about Mizkif a little bit. Remember Mizkif?
Hey, listen, I'll tell this story one fucking time, okay? Yes, Emmy used to strap on me. This was in the end. I'm done. I'm not talking about it.
He did, in fact, talk about it. So that's right. I just want to remind you all that Ms. Kiff admitted that he took a strap on from Emaru. Some of you probably already know that. Some of you may not. But that clip isn't out of context. That's just Ms. Kiff admitting that he took it up the ass from his girlfriend at the time, Emaru. Sort of as you do if you're Ms. Kiff. If you're, man, there, you know, yeah, just. So we're gonna go over all of this, guys. I got a jam-packed show for you today. And so first and foremost, we're going to bow our head in prayer because I think it's important. We need to get back to praying more. And even though I maintain I'm not very good at public praying, I just want to ask the Lord for strength and the wisdom and the courage to go forth on these topics and to speak rightly and to basically do what is right. Dear Lord, we just come before you and we pray that you bless anyone in the audience who needs it, anyone who's going through hardship, anyone who's going through difficulty. Lord, I pray that they reach out to you rather than relying too much on their own machinations, their own insights, their own vision, their own hearing, their own smell, their own touch, their own taste. I pray that they come to you and that your will be done. Lord, I pray that you guide me as I do this show and that goodness and righteousness will prevail and that this stream, this show, will reach people and ears that are hungry to learn and make the world a better place, and also to come to you and recognize that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior, and you sent him to die for our sins, to create a new covenant with us, one that we didn't deserve because we weren't able to complete our covenant. We weren't able to do our part of the bargain, but you did. You completed your part of the bargain, but we were unable to complete ours, so you had to do it for us through your Son, Jesus Christ. I say this in his holy name. Amen. Okay. All right. We just want to pray for the stream because, you know, there's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of animosity. There's a lot of demons, demonic energy out there. And boy, oh boy, we're gonna get into some of that. But first and foremost, I want to go over Amy Coney Barrett. Okay, I think getting that one out of the way first would probably be best. Let me. We're gonna go. Amy Coney Barrett. One second. Make sure I have all the clips ready. Okay. Democrats are the enemy of civilization. Okay. These Democrats are so unbelievably evil. I mean, just looking at them. I mean, just look. I mean, just look at this woman here on the right. Just look. Her face is melted like Palpatine after he got hit with his own lightning. So, and of course, it's the female justices. They're coming and begging for money. Even though, I mean, come on. You know, You want to. It's just like, where's Kavanaugh? Kavanaugh was there, but apparently you're the one that's going to come and beg. It's just, come on. Come on. That's ridiculous. Well, brothers, today we're going to be taking a look at a series of videos from Congress, and this is having to do with the Supreme Court justices, Amy Coney Barrett, and there was one other one. Doesn't matter. Actually, no, it does matter. Let me get that information correct. I was mainly going to focus on her, but it's Kagan, Justice Kagan. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll do Kagan as well. Brothers, today, Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Elena Kagan, they decided that they were going to go to Congress to testify about some of the incidents that have occurred with threats to their person, their family, being doxxed and being swatted. Now, noticeably, none of the men are here. And this goes into another part of the conversation that, we're not really going to focus on, but I think that women should not be in politics. I think that this shows profound weakness, that you're going there and you're begging for money and you're doing a sob story. I get it. Doxing sucks. Swatting is even worse. It should be attempted murder. But I'm sitting here going, you are demanding like this sort of extra special treatment. And I think it's pathetic. Where's Clarence Thomas here? Where is any of the males? No, it's two women that are like, we've gone through all this stuff. You don't think that Clarence Thomas has experienced stuff that's, every bit as difficult? I don't know. Maybe I'm going in the wrong direction. But I think it's unbelievably pathetic. So I just want to make that perfectly clear. Okay, brothers, we're going to be taking a look at a series of video clips from Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Justice Elena Kagan, where they went to Congress to complain and beg for more money because there have been a series of swattings and a series of dangerous attacks coming from the left. But Elena Kagan is a far-left Democrat, so she's going to try to find a way to blame Donald Trump. Now, I think this is particularly embarrassing and pathetic. They're begging for more money and begging for more security, which I understand. Swatting and doxing are absolutely terrible. I think swatting should be classified as attempted murder, and I think that you should go to jail if you engage in that. That being said, we just got off of the back of Amy Coney Barrett voting to betray every American in this country by, trying to maintain birthright citizenship as it has existed. So Amy Coney Barrett just got done betraying the American people and giving us the middle finger, and now she's coming hat in hand saying, I want more money. I want more money. I please, sir, please give me some more security. And I'm just sitting here going, no, you just betrayed this country, and now you want us to give you something. I understand. It's not good what these people on the left are doing. It's disgusting. We've talked about it for years. Then why do you keep voting alongside the leftists? Why do you keep voting for things that they salivate for? Is it because you're afraid? Well, if you're that much of a coward, then get the fuck out. That's where my thinking is on this. So we're going to take a look at this video from Justice Amy Coney Barrett opens up about swatting incident.
Chief Justice Robert himself referenced in a rise in threats in the judicial branch in his 2024 year-end report. He specifically cited more than 1,000 threats investigated against federal judges in just the preceding 5 years. Would you talk about how the volume and nature of threats against the court has changed over the past several years, particularly following the Dobbs decision and the 2022 incident at Justice Kavanaugh's home? Has the threat level changed in 2026, and what do you believe is driving that trend?
The numbers, as you've mentioned, it was up 25% last year, on track for 38% this year, and those...
Microphone, please.
Good?
Yes.
And those statistics sound abstract, but being on the receiving end of them is not.
So I'm not particularly confident. She was having mic issues, like she was on the quartering stream. Okay. I get it. We all have mic issues. But she is a Supreme Court justice. And you don't know to turn on the microphone? Okay. I'm not being overly critical. I'm just observing, okay?
So I thought I would just share a little bit about how the threats have affected me and my family personally. They have required me to, my children, to think about and see things that children should not have to see or think about. One example is when threats to my life were particularly intense a few years ago around the time of the Dobbs leak. My security detail sent me home with a bulletproof vest, and I carried it into my house, put it into my bedroom, dropped it down on a table, turned around, and my 12-year-old son was standing in the doorway of my bedroom, and he wanted to know what it was and why I had it. And I didn't know how to respond because maybe I lack imagination, but I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had it.
What? What? Where have you been? Like, I understand the Dobbs decision was a couple years ago. Where have you been? The Dobbs decision was not before the summer of love. Remember when the left burnt down the country, basically, over George Floyd, a career criminal piece of shit, like one of the most disgusting dregs of humanity? You didn't think they were serious? You didn't think they were a threat? Like, how stupid are you? The threat of the left and Democrats has been on display for years and years and years and years and years. But you didn't, I didn't think that becoming a Supreme Court justice, genuinely, I am blown away by this. I'm blown away. Did you not know that there would be risks? Did you not see what the left does to Clarence Thomas all the time? They call him a coon. They use an Uncle Tom. They use every racial name in the book. It's disgusting. But what, you think that you deserve special treatment? Brett Kavanaugh, they falsely accused him of some of the most egregious crimes imaginable in front of the world, in front of the country. You didn't think that there would be a weaponization? These people on the left are evil. What I think this demonstrates is that this woman is not qualified for this job. She needs to resign. Okay? You're not right for the job. And the man that is to replace you should be somebody like Clarence Thomas. Somebody with grit, determination, and a resolve to make this country better by going back to what it was. You are not doing that. Now, whether it's because you are as dumb as you appear and you're just siding with the left more times than you should, or because you're afraid, you know it's wrong, but you're afraid. Regardless, like, both of those outcomes are not great. So what I would say is, we can agree the left are absolutely terrible, but you're begging for more money and more security. But you are in charge of decisions every day where you could help to sort of, metaphorically speaking, put the noose around the neck of the leftist ideology and to help destroy them for all time. And yet at every chance you get, you betray this country, you stab it in the back. And now you want us to care about the situation that you went through. I do on a humanitarian level. I don't want you to go through that. I think it's horrible you went through that. But you going through that, your answer here was so out of touch, delusional, clueless about the threat that is right in front of you that I think it would be negligent to allow you to continue to be a Supreme Court justice.
I had to wear one. It's also been reported in the news that roughly 6 weeks ago, I was the victim of a swatting incident. At that point, my teenage son, one of my teenage sons, opened the door to go out with friends and saw in our street, it was full of police cars who had responded to a false report of gunshots and raised voices in my home. I was very, very grateful that I had Supreme Court police outside my home because they were able to stop and meet with and explain to the county police that it had been a false alarm, and so the police did not actually attempt to enter our home. Many of us, me included, have received threatening anonymous deliveries designed to intimidate and harass us. They are often sent in the name of Judge Salas's son, who I think, as you mentioned in the beginning, Mr. Chairman, is deceased because he was killed by a disgruntled lawyer who showed up at Judge Salas's home intending to kill her, but her son, 20 years old at the time, opened the door and took
That's
the bullet
horrible.
instead. Her husband, standing behind, was seriously injured. So I think the
That's
message on these deliveries being sent in his name is clear. As Justice Kagan said, federal judges across the country, throughout the judiciary, including the Supreme Court, continue to do their jobs without fear or favor, but the threat level is really high.
Bullshit. The judiciary is out of control. It's been infiltrated by leftist activists. The Supreme Court has been infiltrated by leftist activists. No, they're not doing their job. They're not doing their job. Look, we just had Dugan. She was trying to help facilitate the escape of an illegal criminal. No, the judiciary is they're about activism these days. I know it may seem like an oversimplification, but yeah, they're not doing their job. They're doing a terrible, terrible disservice to this country. So I understand the anger, but my focus would be on Donald Trump. Why are you not cracking down on some of the threats online, some of the statements online? Why are you not cracking down? You should be showing up to these people's houses and dragging them out by their hair. Why are you not cracking down on these people that are making these violent threats against Trump, against Charlie Kirk? Why are you not being as brutal to them as possible? Because these people are evil and they're celebrating harm to others. And that would also include the Supreme Court justices. At the same time, Amy Coney Barrett, why are you constantly making rulings that you know are wrong, you know are morally wrong, you know they're against the Constitution, you know birthright citizenship was not the right choice. You know it. You handed a major win to the left and a major blow to this country. So I look at this and I go, no, the judges are not doing what they should be doing. And the liberal judges, they tend to not have any fear of repercussions because conservatives are eminently more reasonable than the left. But conservative judges and justices are afraid because they absolutely know that they could be put at risk and there's not going to be enough systematic support to go after those people. That needs to change. It needs to be the reverse. It needs to be that liberals, when they do things that are against America, are treasonous, they need to be afraid. But not because of some rogue vigilante. They need to be afraid of the law. They need to be afraid. If I do this action that is to betray America in favor of my activism, there is going to be a real world cost. I'm going to lose my judgeship. I'm going to go to jail. I'm going to lose my assets. My name is going to be dragged through the mud. There are going to be ramifications and consequences. That needs to be the status quo. But unfortunately, it's inversed, where the good guys are on the run and the bad guys are in charge.
Over the last few years, we've seen an increase in First Amendment-related activity around D.C., including the Supreme Court campus. The Supreme Court building itself has had perimeter fencing up at various points in recent years. What is the current state of permanent physical security upgrades to the building, and how much of this budget request is dedicated to capital improvements versus ongoing personnel costs?
I think, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, feel free.
Most of the money for this.
Gosh. Look, okay, listen, I know this is a serious topic. Look at this woman in the background. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Yikes.
This increase is personnel.
Oh gosh. Speaking of yikes. Oh my gosh. Oh, she looks like a make a she. I was gonna say make a wish. She looks like a character creator. Like if you're playing an MMO, you're playing on the Horde, and you're just picking all the worst options. Oh gosh. This is Elena Kagan, by the way. She is a justice from the Supreme Court. One of the worst decisions that Obama ever made. One of them. One of the many.
And not building arrangements.
She's going bald. Oh man. Oh, this is. By the way, guys, this is one of the women that's making the decision for how the country is to be run. If you don't see immediately right now where the problem is in that, I don't even know what to tell you.
We have occasionally put up perimeter fences. We don't like that. We want to express a commitment to be open and transparent to the public, as I know other governmental institutions do as well. Occasionally, we have found it necessary, given the threat level, to put up some barriers, but they come down as quickly as we can take them down. Some small part of the funding request is for building improvements, but mostly it's for security personnel.
Protecting the court and justice involves coordination between the Supreme Court police, obviously, the U.S.
She's
Marshal
bold.
Service, Secret Service, Capitol Police, and local law enforcement, depending on your location. Would you walk us through how those responsibilities are divided and whether there are any gaps or redundancies in the structure that we should be aware of?
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, that's the first one. So, yeah, just giving you a little taste. They're going and they're begging for money. They're begging for money. And, of course, as always, you know, the Democrats are going to use this opportunity to blame Trump.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I want to welcome Justin Kagan and Justin Comey Barrett to the courtroom, I suppose, in one sense, but to the hearing.
Oh, I want to thank you to the courtroom. Yeah, and they let me out of the senior center to come down. We're getting applesauce later. Guys, can you believe they're giving us applesauce? Applesauce, guys. We're so glad. We're so glad that you're here, man. Oh, I pooped myself a little bit. I gotta change my diaper when I'm done. Like, why are these people that look like they're already a corpse? Why are they in positions of power? Like, I like to see this guy try to like set up an iPhone. I like these geriatrics that should be in the retirement home. They just never will give up their money or give up their power. They never will. Mitch McConnell is like brain dead, 1 foot in the grave, more than 1 foot, and he's refusing to vacate or give up power. It's actually crazy that we have we've got a gerontocracy going on right now. A bunch of old people that don't know shit are ruining our country and running it into the ground.
Room in a very significant other sense. I also want to welcome Judge Dow, who has been so good to work with over the course of the last few years with respect to making sure that you had a sufficient budget, not only to carry out your formal duties, but also to protect the justices. Unfortunately, we put the cart before the horse. We marked up the fiscal year 27 bill in subcommittee and then marked it up in full committee before we had hearings to inform us on the facts which would make the budget decisions more credible. Now we are having 2 hearings today from witnesses about their funding request in that bill that we passed. We should have started with those hearings. We also should be hearing from Treasury and DOJ too. We did hear from OMB, at which time Director Vogt informed us that he intended to have no oversight of the damage done by DOJ. Mr. Chairman, as you know, I think we must have such hearings ourselves. As has been widely noted, this is the first time the Supreme Court justices are testifying before a House committee since 2019. we appreciate this opportunity. Such hearings used to be the norm. From 1960 to 2022, there were 93 appearances by at least one sitting Supreme Court justice every year. This is a budget hearing to fulfill our duty to appropriate the people's taxes responsibly. I imagine that the questions will go beyond.
So as this old man is putting us to sleep, I do want to take a little bit of a detour. Okay, we're gonna go take a look at something else very quickly. All right, I want to do a juxtaposition. I want to do a juxtaposition. Okay, I want to show you Clarence Thomas. I want to show you the demeanor of Clarence Thomas, and then you tell me if you think it's right that we have women like Elena Kagan and Amy Coney Barrett on the Supreme Court. I want you to tell me if you think that they are the right choice after what you're about to see.
I'd rather die than withdraw. If they're gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me.
So you'd still like to serve on the Supreme Court?
I'd rather die than withdraw from the process. Not for the purpose of serving on the Supreme Court, but for the purpose of not being driven out of this process.
What an absolute...
I would not be scared. I don't like bullies. I've never run from bullies. I never cry uncle, and I'm not going to cry uncle today, whether I want to be on the Supreme Court or not.
Absolute legend. Now you compare, we got the, and if you're like, sure, like I get it, I get it. I don't want to downplay swatting. It's absolutely horrific and egregious. It's terrible, and doxing and all that stuff. It's unspeakably evil. But did you hear the resolve in that man's voice? Did you hear his commitment? He said, I would rather die than back down because of threats. I would rather die than to allow these people to win. That is the sort of grit and determination that we need right now. We don't need women pap. We don't need this sort of just feminized energy that, yeah, I was so scared. It's like, no, we need resolve. We need commitment. We need determination. We need masculinity. We need testosterone. We need somebody that's sitting up there that doesn't look like a woman, that looks like, she looks like a, character from World of Warcraft where you're choosing all the wrong choices, like some orc. We don't need somebody like that. What we need are men of action and determination and grit and will. And we don't have that. Unfortunately, Clarence Thomas is in the minority. We need 9 more people like him. We have lost a lot. We've lost sight. We lost sight of, everything important. When we have these people, these are the people on the Supreme Court. These are the ones that are making the decision for the country. And people like this old guy is about to blame Trump.
The fiscal to the fundamental. Both are proper, in my view, but in the case of the court's essential independence, difficult. I want to begin this discussion today, though, on the budget by noting that the very real threats faced by our judiciary, which the chairman has mentioned, is in our mind. According to the U.S. Marshal Service, more than 200 federal judges have had threats made against them in this fiscal year alone. With a deeply divided country and increasingly violent rhetoric being directed at judges, Congress must provide sufficient funding to ensure the safety of all judicial personnel. The FSSGG bill, already advanced by the Appropriations Committee, would provide $9.62 billion for the judiciary and $207 million for the Supreme Court itself. That's a 4.8% and 7.3% increase, respectively. Included in the bill is a $28.9 million increase for court security. At the same time, while we take measures to protect the physical safety of judges, and court staff, Congress also has a
Oh my gosh. So they want $250 million. They want $250 million for this. Absolutely not.
responsibility to safeguard the independence of our judiciary and its ability to protect the constitutional rights of all Americans. Part of that is making certain that there is adequate funding for the public defenders, and I'm glad that we were able to address the budget shortfall for defenders serving in fiscal year 26. In fiscal 27, the committee supported funding defender services at $1.79 billion, with an increase of $26 million over the last year. That is a constitutional responsibility both the courts and Congress have. The rule of law depends on a judiciary that is properly funded, especially now when we need a strong judiciary to protect Americans from the imposition of a theory, in my view, of executive supremacy.
Executive supremacy. No. I wish. Oh, do I wish that Trump were the person that they're talking about? Oh my gosh. I can't even begin to tell you. I wish there was executive supremacy. I wish Trump would say, "Attention, American people. The time has come. Execute Order 69. And basically, you round up all the Democrats, all the communists, all the socialists, Hassan Piker, Mehdi Hassan, the David Pacmans. You take Elena Kagan, you take all these people. We're gonna put them in a nice, beautiful, state-of-the-art prison camp. It's going to be a labor prison camp. And for the first time, this person, he's not going to have a Ukrainian pin. He's going to have a nice orange jumpsuit. And these people are going to go to work for the rest of their life. Actually doing something good for the American people. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? We're going to give them the nice, most... Listen, we're not mean here. We're going to give them health care. We're going to give them 3 square meals a day. It's going to be, delicious food. They're going to get to go and they're going to get to work. They're going to get to turn big rocks into small rocks. No more of fucking the country up for everyone. No, you get to, all your assets are going to be seized. And you get to go and you get to turn big rocks into small rocks. That'll be your job. That's what you get to do. See, I wish Trump would do that. I wish Trump were the person that they talked about. Because then Trump would say, well, you know what? We're just ending birthright citizenship. We're decreeing it. You know what? The Supreme Court made a decision. Let them enforce it. I am instructing the Army. I'm instructing the military and Border Patrol that if anyone is in the country and, they just happen to come here on a, birth tourism visa. That's not actually a thing, but they come here, visit the country, have a kid, and then they go back home and that kid's an American citizen. That was never the way it was meant to be. We're just undoing that. I don't care what the Supreme Court says. We're just undoing it. If they have a problem with it, then I'm just going to throw them in jail. Would I love Trump for doing that? Absolutely. Yeah, that'd be great. The difference is because what Trump would be doing would be right. And really, at the end of the day, it's not about morality, it's about power. That's what we're dealing with here. The conservatives are always fretting about, well, the letter of the law says this, and, well, you can't technically do this, but it doesn't. Because the left reinterprets words all the time, language all the time. They reinterpret everything to fit their agenda. The Second Amendment, it says the right to keep and bear the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Right? It's pretty clear. But the left goes, well, that's sort of, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Well, we're going to infringe that. So the left doesn't care about the letter of the law. They care about power, and that's what conservatives should be focused on. You should be focused on acquiring power and then using every bit of that to oppress your opposition, to oppress the Democrats, to crush them and their ideology in every way that you possibly can, within the arena of ideas, within the arena of politics. You need to make sure that these people on the left never have a position of power again. That anytime they utter their communist filth, that they are ostracized, vilified, and in some cases deported. You need to make it the standard that anytime these freaks ooze their way out of the woodwork, that there is a consequence to them both financially and reputationally.
This administration is routinely engaging in conduct that tests the limits of our Constitution. We must remember that our republic is a three-legged school.
A three-legged school. All right. Anyway, we're done watching this retarded fossil. This absolute goon. This fool. This geriatric old man.
I'm reading the script like they told me. When do I get my applesauce? They don't have the applesauce I like. No, I only like the strawberry applesauce. I don't like the mango applesauce. No, my day is ruined.
Like, this guy gets done, and then he goes, oh, made a poopy. Gotta go change his adult diaper. Get these people out. All of them. Every single person that advocated for maintaining birthright citizenship, everyone who's against the SAVE Act, everyone who's against the basic tenets of a functioning Christian society, those people got to go. You got to deport them. You got to arrest them. You got to shut them down. It's about power and maintaining that power over other people. You can talk about the ethics of it, but the winners are the ones that decide the ethics. It's not the losers. We fundamentally misunderstood that. So, yeah, I just wanted to bring this to your attention, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Oh my gosh. So we got a bona fide retard in here. All right. Well, thank you, Melva Bumpus. I appreciate your contribution. I'm going to put you in timeout for 5 minutes. There you go. You're in timeout. You know the rules, and so do I. You just got Rick rolled out. Okay. Moving on. All right. Let me put this video up, and then we'll move on to the next topic. Okay. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yep. Well, that's what happens when you put somebody in timeout. It deletes their comments. Let's see. All right. There we go. Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, it seems like it's just going to be one of those days. You know? That's unfortunate. I mean, I put that one in timeout. I assume that's an alt, so I just permanently banned that one. That's okay. I mean, I got no clue why somebody's spamming the N-word. I had to make a new PSN account because I was permanently banned for saying bad words. Yeah, of course. These people know that, by the way. All of these trolls, the reason that they spam the N-word is because they understand that YouTube and these other companies absolutely will crack down on you if you have that in your chat. If you don't moderate that, if you don't filter that out, they absolutely will demonetize you and they will ban you if you don't do anything about it. They do monitor the chats. So it's a cope from them, because ultimately they would think that it would be incredibly funny if I got demonetized. They would be like, oh, that's so funny. That's more content, because we're not dealing with actual human beings. We're dealing with people that are simply here because they want something entertaining and funny. And whether that's actual content or whether that's somebody in their misfortune, to them it's the same thing. So, but for me, it's not. I would like to keep my channel monetized. I'd like to be able to talk about these issues, and so it's what they do. They come in here to do that, to cause problems, because for them, entertainment comes from people's reactions. So if they spam the N-word and you react to it, and then it also gets you in trouble, for them, that's just a series of wins. So we just got to ban it and move on. Okay, let's see.
It's actually crazy to me. Guys, we're still on this. Hassan claims it was a vibration.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, that's crazy. That is genuinely crazy. Brothers, do you remember Collargate? Collargate was the story that launched a million memes. You had songs like Shock, Shock, Shock that took the #1 spot for a while. And Hassan Piker has maintained his innocence. Guys, yes, it was technically a collar that could shock, but I didn't have the prongs in, so it was a vibration collar. He's been maintaining this for a long time. And the reason we're talking about this again is because Hassan just won't let it go. He absolutely hates that people are still on this. It's not even that many people are on it. The fact that anyone at any time mentions this, like even in passing, some random person will be like, Hassan shocked his dog as a joke. It's not the YouTube channels are reacting to it, or, it's the center of attention. Anyone mentioning it does this like a Winter Soldier switch in his head, and he just freaks the fuck out. He does. It's absolutely embarrassing. By the way, him shocking his dog multiple times, not just on that stream, but other times, Hassan has also pulled his dog by the tail and said, I'm going to kill you if you move. Hassan has a history of animal abuse. So this isn't like a one-off situation. He has a pattern of behavior when it comes to this.
Actually crazy to me. Guys, we're still on this. Hassan claims it was a vibration collar.
Hassan shocked his dog. The story doesn't need much introduction. Hassan's dog, Kaya, appeared to yelp on stream when he reached for something on his desk, and the internet exploded with speculation that he used a shock collar on her. Hassan.
Maybe skip this one? No, I mean, I don't care at this point. This is fucking bullshit.
Everybody thinks that you zapped the dog, man.
The irony is Fox News also destroyed Collargate.
Did they?
Because they snapped paparazzi pictures outside of my fucking house of Kaya going on a walk, and people figured out that it was a vibe collar. As I've been saying, it was a vibe collar.
He changed the zapper after the incident?
Yeah, like it proves nothing, Hassan.
Oh my God. Are we really going to
At a certain point,
this?
most people are going to be like, why are you, like, it's very clear that this guy.
Yes, you changed the collar. You changed the switch after the event.
It doesn't abuse his dog.
And so apparently this is this true?
Okay, I think they can hear it, right?
Oh my God, it's right there, isn't it?
It's different. It's a black one. Look at it. Look at this.
And
now I know what you're saying. Again, why are you bringing this up? Why are you talking about Collargate? Because Hassan can't let it go. His ego can't handle it. Hassan is a guy that, by the way, broke through the political barrier and became mainstream for shocking his dog. The only reason that more Pegasus is doing videos on Hassan is because Hassan broke containment, and one of the videos that people saw about Hassan was him shocking his dog. So he is now the dog shocker, and he hates that. He hates that more than anything that you can imagine. You see, because Hassan, he went to school. You know, I went to school to become a journalist. The truth is, Hassan never did particularly well in school. He said on multiple occasions the only reason he went to school was to get laid. He begged his parents to send him to an American school because they have the hottest and quote-unquote easiest chicks. So, Asmongold, I mean, look at that grin. Asmongold is out here calling him out. Not because Asmon is just pulling this from the ether, but Hassan is still demanding that everyone's wrong. And he's desperately trying to gaslight people to the point where they believe, okay, well, maybe it wasn't this. No, Hassan, every time you do this, the rotation of clips that prove that you're a liar are going to, they're going to be accompanied. So you can pull up the video from Fox News and say, guys, they were stalking me. And that was a vibration collar. The moment that you do that, people are going to pull up the, 3, 4, 5, 6 clips of you with the vibration collar. And it's not the same one. It's a different color, a different shape. They're going to point all this stuff out. And you're going to look like an even bigger liar, and you're going to look insecure, and you're going to look weak, and you're going to look pathetic. Every time. And all you had to do, Hassan, was be honest. Guys, yeah, I'm using a shock collar because my trainer, my trainer told me that is the preferred way to train a dog of this size, to use a shock collar. Yes, I understand that on the internet that's not really a great thing, but we're sort of teaching, we're teaching position. Like, you could have gone in and come up with a much better story, but you were so arrogant and you were so insecure that you had to maintain the virtue signal. So you said, no, I don't have a shock collar. It's a vibration collar. No, I would never shock a dog. Son, you would pull a dog by the tail. You would pull a dog by the tail, and you would tell it you're going to kill it. Son, you are a violent, radical, insane person. I have no doubt that you use a shock collar. And you know what? The majority of people believe me and not you.
And he moves it off. Dude. And do you remember Destiny? I swear I didn't mean to do that. How would the paparazzi have debunked anything? So the paparazzi, the reason why he says it was debunked is because they took a photo of a person walking Hassan's dog, and the person walking his dog was wearing a red one. XQC also leaked more info. We are never going to let this die, are we?
No.
He feels slighted.
No.
He feels...
No. Asmon, it's not we. No one was talking about this. No one was doing videos on CollegeGate. Nobody had brought it up for weeks. Other than the occasional comment to nettle him a little bit. But he brought it up. He's the one that mentioned it. So whenever he brings it up, it gives new life into it. And then more people come to disprove whatever he's saying to try to debunk the original narrative.
Fucked up about the decisions that he made in his life.
Who?
That caused...
What about the decision to shock the dog, though? And what about the decision to enter that brothel, though? You shot your dog, and it's fucking obvious. Everybody knows it.
I mean, it's gotta bother him on some level that, like, if you search Asmongold, you get, and to be fair, you also get room. And when you search Hassan, you get dog. I mean, I bet he's mad.
What about the one where he pulled the dog backwards by its tail? Was he role-playing fucking Mario in Mario 64 with Bowser? When he spins him around with the tail? I mean, what's the justification?
He was crying last week that you are the reason coworker Wig doesn't invite him to events anymore.
Well, I mean, okay. I wasn't crying about it.
Oh, are they trying to loop Ludwig into this now? Oh my god.
If anybody has the proof, it's Lud, and he still flips. I think it's odd as fuck.
Power and influence.
He has the proof.
Am I? The last time I spoke to Ludwig, that we were talking about the fucking Hassan dog collar shit, he had admitted to me data that has been not presented to the public, that nobody knows about. I'm not gonna leak any of that because that's still private.
Wait, there's private information about this still?
But if anybody knows what the fuck is,
release the CollegeGate files. Guys, We have to demand the release of the Colorgate files.
Ludwig knows absolutely the one piece of information that nobody else has. Insane.
Ludwig has the one piece that will condemn Hassan, but he...
Oh, man. XQC just putting a target on Ludwig. Oh, man. That's hilarious.
He won't. Oh, my God.
I mean,
I don't really give a shit if he calls me a dog shocker.
That's what they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
You're not the dog shocker. You're the dog Zeus. You're the Zeus. You're the master of lightning.
Ludwig has the only piece of information, and I'm assuming that the reason why Ludwig will never say is that it's probably information that he got secondhand from his girlfriend.
I looked at the collar. The collar is taped off.
I can just imagine Hassan watching this. No, don't say that. No.
Whatever, dude. He's a fucking animal. He's a dumb, low IQ, disgusting little animal.
Oh,
and
no.
his audience must also be the same. Actually, they're lower. They're lower than he is somehow. Because they choose to fucking watch him.
Not me. They're not watching me, but they're watching him. Why did they do that? He's...
Oh, gosh. Yeah, Hassan is crashing out, calling Asmongold the dog, lower than a dog. He's an animal. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Hassan is the dog Zeus. That's right. And he's so low IQ and so insecure. He thought, okay, I'm going to have the dog walker walk around with this vibration collar around the neck, and that's going to prove that I was right the whole time. It's not what that proves at all, Hassan. What it proves is that you're an absolute idiot. You're somebody that believes that you can manipulate the situation by bringing up this new irrelevant piece of information that you have this vibration collar now. But you see, the only thing that we need to disprove what you're doing now is what you did in the past. And what you did in the past, well, people have a picture of what your shocker looked like before. And they're juxtaposing it to the one in the image. And they go, these don't match. And they're watching you sort of slide it off screen. And they're putting the pieces together, son. And that sort of paints a picture. It sort of puts together the puzzle. That's on. Nobody was talking about Collargate. Nobody was talking about Collargate. No one was bringing this up. No one was mentioning it. But your insecurity is so profound. It is so real that now we are talking about it. I don't think we're going to do another video on it, but we are talking about it again. We are bringing new life. Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Okay. Is okay. Beautiful. Got that. Got that. Okay. Core tour? What is core tour? Rich of the Supreme Court to be asking for protection after betraying America? That's what I said. That's what I said. Great minds think alike. Okay. Let me find the rest. Save act. To proceed. no. Okay. Let me find. Rejected. Damn, that's brutal. USA made Teddy Roosevelt. True. The conglomerate. What? Who? The conglomerate of Connery did an end tower and nothing happened. But who is the conglomerate of what? Yeah, there's nobody in there by that name. You're just. I do one measly end tower. Yeah, if you do an end tower, I'm gonna ban you. In fact, I should ban you for just bringing up the end tower. I should just ban you on principle for that alone. You even mentioning that exists, I should ban you. But I'm not. But I should. Anyway. We got bigger fish to fry today. By the way, guys. Let's scroll up chat. All right. Let me see. Okay, somebody. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate you letting me know that. Put user in timeout. All right. Actually, that user's going away. Oh, thank you. I apologize. Thank you for letting me know. I was wrong. I was wrong to come at you so hard, but I appreciate you letting me know. And that person's banned. That person is permanently banned. They're gone. So, thank you. If you see anything like that, let me know. I just did. I just deleted it. So, anyway, I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll. Apparently, that's the thing. We'll deal with it when it comes. I was gonna do it like a timeout thing, but I'm just gonna permanently ban anyone who says it. If you do that, you're not fit for purpose. You're low IQ and you're low impulse control. You're mentally ill. You got some flavor of retardation. You can't control yourself. So it's unfortunate, but you know.
Fucking good news. Andy Serkis interview about his upcoming Lord of the Rings movie. Andy Serkis defends lack of diversity in Lord of the Rings cast. Whoa, what? This is a summary. And lack of diversity for Hunt for Gollum. Tolkien himself was influenced by a lot of Norse mythology. There's a lot of that feeling. The Shire feels very white, you know? They're not very concerned with what goes on beyond the borders of the Shire, but they do know that they don't want people coming in. Yes, there have been criticisms, he says, acknowledging arguments for now almost a quarter of a century old. This particular film somewhat acknowledges that, but I don't think that we'll be doing politically correct, just casting for the sake of casting and ticking boxes version of the film, so it's only where it's relevant, basically. Thank God. People are finally tired of this shit.
I feel like I've been an elf my whole life, so it feels very validating to go and actually be able to do it as a job. I'm a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge fan of Andy. And so I think just being able to be a part of this world and to inhabit this character is a dream come true.
This is the teaser. This is the Hunt for Gollum.
Here we go, onto the mocap stage for day one.
Thank you, everyone. Standing by to shoot.
Very exciting.
And roll camera.
And action.
He's so good. Oh my God. Jesus. Bro, he just turned it on.
The entire Lord of the Rings team who worked on the originals are reassembled for a start. It will feel like a proper Middle-earth film, there's no question. A lot of the filmmaking techniques harken back to the first trilogy. So I think it'll be a great marriage of a new story and an intimate story within the lore and world of the Middle-earth that we all love.
That's insane. I didn't know they had all those people coming in. Is this the, oh my God, that's...
Well, yeah, I'm apprehensive, okay? I'm a little bit nervous. Because he's saying this, but I don't know. They have this way of like worming their way in.
Tim from back then?
That then became villain.
He was almost cast from the second that we met him.
Oh my God, he's so good.
And it was really in that audition that I came to realize something that it never really occurred to me, and that the voice and the facial expressions and the energy are related.
His approach was so intense, and he gave absolutely everything every day and physically.
Yeah, some of these people put so much work and time and effort into this, it's insane. I think.
And now we got fat, black, bearded dwarves. We got bearded female dwarves now, who are fat. Yeah. I mean, name a bigger decline. Name a bigger decline. Yeah.
You're arguing it's because
let's take a look at
for more security. They want to add cybersecurity. They've already got something like 8 or 9 security officers. And Amy Coney Barrett went on to explain her son opening the door to a wall of police after she had been swatted. Now, the interesting thing here, it wasn't just Coney Barrett, it's Kagan as well, talking about the death threats they are receiving for the rulings that they are creating or that they're issuing. And the funny thing is, somebody did a breakdown of Amy Coney Barrett's opinions before Dobbs and after, and you can see that after Dobbs, she goes full moderate. She was a conservative, this decision happens, and then she pulls far to the left.
Right.
Why? After Dobbs, before Dobbs, there was a leak. Death threats, fences were put up. And we talked about this last week, the week before that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's compromised.
I would argue that her opinions are paradoxical. She's arguing against herself in some circumstances, and it seems like she is terrified to issue the rulings that need to be issued because of these death threats.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I'm not trying to rag on the Supreme Court justice here.
I am.
She said her child opened the front door of her house and saw a wall of cops in a swatting. She must have been terrified. She tells a story where she had to explain to her 12-year-old son what a bulletproof vest was, because apparently he's been so sheltered he's never played Fortnite or Call of Duty or any other video game like GTA and didn't know what a bulletproof vest was. Now, I don't believe her, but I will say this. If it is true that her kid didn't know what a bulletproof vest was, she has those kids very sheltered, so it must be very, very terrifying when people are trying to murder you and your colleagues. I can only suspect then and contradicting themselves. She's doing it because she's terrified the left will kill her.
Right.
Now, the funny thing is, guys, it's riot season. Ain't no riots. Where they at? You could say that after USAID was shut down, the riots just stopped, which...
Well, I mean, they had a little riot. A little riot after some retard decided to try to run over an ICE agent with their car. Got shot. But, no, I see what he's saying. There is some validity there. There's some validity. Guys, we're going to be looking at the quartering right now. I know what you're saying. Oh, the quartering, my favorite content creator. But brothers, the quartering has been exposed in so many scams and so many different frauds and so many different lies that it's really hard to keep track at this point. You know, you have the basic questions of, like, where is coffee brand coffee sourced? What are the oranges for? But I mean, this guy has no duty of care, no integrity, no honesty, and takes no accountability.
With how much this lady is asking for security, my spidey senses tell me she wants to take some off the top for a few new Gucci bags.
Let's see. She wants to take some of the top. I don't think so. I think, listen, for Amy Coney Barrett, I think her biggest problem is that, first of all, she, like, the way that she's lived her life, she has imported a bunch of kids from, I don't even know, God knows where, but she's got a bunch of black adopted kids. So I understand from her perspective, like, oh, I'm not going to vote against birthright citizenship because, I want my kids, to be able to have kids of their own, even if they're not citizens. And it's like, so I understand, like, on some level, but the fact is, she has been compromised. It's undeniable. The data shows that her voting habits and patterns have changed. And that's why I've maintained the entire time that women should not be on the Supreme Court at all. Because you listen to Clarence Thomas, and you juxtapose that to Amy Coney Barrett, and the difference is night and day. And I know that's not a particularly popular sentiment to say, but it's something that is, I think, undeniably true. So thank you, Baked Buddhist. I appreciate your support, brother. I appreciate your donation more than you can know. But thank you. Are you going to give us a constitutional analysis of the situation? Just turn on the stream. Have you addressed the Hujan situation yet? The Hujan. What do you think about substantive due process? Due process, I think, is a term that has been misused. I think a lot of people think that due process means that you are due the process of having like a court trial. You are due the process of, I have to have my day in court. Even if I'm an illegal, I have to have a lawyer and we have to have like a full trial. That's not what due process is. Your deportation, your removal from the country is your due process. That is the process to which you are due. You are due to be processed. So I don't think that due process means what a lot of people try to make it mean. Because a lot of people on the left want to say that your due process is that you have a trial. We got Weewick. I hear this Hujan guy is a massive homosexual swinger. What the fuck does that have? Well, I understand your confusion. We're about to do a video on the quartering, and you thought homosexual. Like I totally get it. I totally get it. I mean, the constitutional theory of substantive due process that is often used to create constructed rights, most famously in Roe versus Wade and Obergefell. I think from a simplistic term, I think that when people use the term due process today, they're not talking about it from the perspective that you're coming at it. Which is why, in order to make it understandable, a chair's gay. To make it understandable, it's important to make that distinction. To make that delineation, that people know that the due process that they're talking about, when the left talks about due process, they're not talking about that. They're talking about, they think that every illegal criminal alien should have their day in court, with like a full jury trial, and it's just, it's not reality. Brothers, the quartering has been on a generational crash out in ways that we couldn't have even predicted a couple weeks ago. The quartering has been caught lying, not only about his coffee company, but his injury. He's lied about going to the Renaissance Fair in order to get attention and to make people upset. But really, everything that this guy Jeremy touches, it just immediately turns to shit. And it's a fascinating de-evolution. A fascinating de-evolution. Because the quartering, at one point, was making millions of dollars a year. But now, I mean, his viewership has taken a pounding. The guy has tried multiple different things. They've all failed. And now we're going to be taking a look at his vlog channel because this is just so unbelievably hilarious. The quartering is now trying to do this whole thing where I'm going to take control of the analytics and the meme. So the title of this video is called The Quartering Coffee Scam. Coffee Brain Coffee. So the quartering is doing the thing where guys, I'm going to try to make it into a joke. I'm going to try to, take creative leadership over this. Now, has Jeremy answered anything relating to Coffee Brand Coffee? But no, maybe this is it.
These vlogs, just make sure you leave a like on the video and you subscribe or follow down below. I love doing them. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get into it. 2 new ones every week. All right, for today's vlog, I'm hoping I got something a little interesting for you. We're going to go through the walking trails that we have here, do some chorin, and we're going to talk a little bit about, I guess, my biggest lie that's been exposed by terminally online weirdos, and I guess I have to come clean.
Yeah, terminally online weirdos. Basically, consumers and consumers' rights activists, they see that you've been lying repeatedly for years, misrepresenting your business, taking money under false pretenses, but they're weirdos. But you're not a weirdo for calling Disney to account. You're not a weirdo for calling Sony to account. You see, the quartering isn't an online weirdo. When he does multiple videos, when he does like 6-7 videos a day, and he does a bunch of streams, many of which he steals from other people, he's not a weirdo. He's not a perpetually online weirdo. Only you are, because you're focusing on fraud from his side of things. You should only be focusing on fraud and other things that are nefarious from corporations, bigger ones. See, this guy has the socialist mindset. And what I mean by that is this. When you ask Pokimane, who is a multimillionaire, what do you think about the rich? I hate the rich, tax the rich, eat the rich. Aren't you the rich? Aren't you the rich? She was asked that point blank by Jason the Weeb. She was asked that point blank. Wait, aren't you the rich? No! Because to these people, they're never the rich, even though they are rich. It's always somebody else. It's somebody with more money. Jeremy is the same way. Why? I'm against corporate greed. I'm against anti-consumerism. Oh, wait, aren't you? Aren't you rich? Aren't you greedy? Aren't you anti-consumer? No. Somebody else, bigger companies. Jeremy does not live by the standard to which he puts on other people and other corporations. So that's what I've been saying for a while. The quartering will actively go out of his way to call out Disney because they made more woke slop and they didn't listen. They didn't listen to, they didn't listen to his feedback. It says, everyone Templar smites is by definition a lefty. It's not true. I go after people on the right as well. But in this particular case, he absolutely is acting in the same manner that somebody like Pokimane does when she talks about taxing the rich and going after the rich and eating the rich. The quartering is saying, well, no, you can't criticize me or you're a loser. But he will then immediately go and start talking about Disney and Marvel. And he'll start talking about, companies, even on a local level. Like, hey, guys, I went to my local McDonald's and, oh, man, they ran out of chicken nuggets. Like, he will criticize local restaurants. He'll criticize corporations. He'll criticize anyone. But when it comes to him, then you're a loser. That's what I'm talking about. That is the hypocrisy. We call it the Pokimane fallacy. The Pokimane complex, where you want to say the right thing, but you don't actually want to do the right thing.
And, I hope that you all still will stick around afterwards because it is a wild tale. It's a wild tale. So let's start by, we're going to go and start managing our trails. Get in my Kubota here. I don't have one of those fancy side-by-sides. Hopefully the audio isn't super terrible.
So he's got this is a step up from the mobility scooter.
I don't know. We'll have to see. It's a diesel Kubota. All right, so let's see how bad the audio is here. We'll hope it'll be okay, serviceable. So the internet is very, very interested in my coffee business.
Oh, yeah? Like, you not think they have a right to be?
Very interested. And I don't know why.
Oh my gosh. Is it that you are doing something wrong? Like, could it possibly, feasibly be because they don't like you and you're doing something wrong?
There's really nothing that interesting about it. It's really not unique.
Apparently there is.
I know there's a lot of people that think it's unique.
Well, if people think it's unique, Jeremy, if people think it's unique, if people are interested, if they think there's something there, then what does it cost you to actually address it? You've never addressed it. You've only downplayed everything. You've taken zero accountability. You've never actually stopped to say, well, this is a legitimate issue. Jeremy, every step of the way, there have been things that you've done wrong. And instead of taking accountability and admitting that, you have chosen to go down a path of antagonism, trolling, animosity, and you have made your own situation that much worse. But you didn't have to do that. Nobody forced or compelled you to do that. You did it on your own. Because for you, the most important thing was getting a win. But all the while you were trying to collect a win, you were also doing things that you shouldn't have been doing. Your coffee company, you have tried to tell people for years that it's not a dropship company. But Jeremy, it is. And you have not gone through and debunked any of the criticism. You say, well, we bought this machine, we did this. Jeremy, you said that you bought a coffee machine. You were buying a machine for $80,000. You said that you bought that. You said it costs as much as a Subaru. We have the receipts. You didn't do that. You lied to get money from your audience. And then you wonder why people have an issue. You would have an issue with somebody doing that. I guarantee you, if Steven Crowder had done everything that the Quartering did, if Steven Crowder had crowdfunded and tried to generate, donations for, a coffee business that he was running, and he's like, all right, we're going to spend this $80,000 on this, and it was revealed that he didn't do that, and in fact, he had been promising that his company wasn't dropshipped, but he found out that it was, Jeremy would absolutely do a video on it. He'd be like, guys, it's kind of crazy. Steven Crowder out here having some issues. Apparently, he would absolutely cover it. Or if it were Ben Shapiro or Tim Pool. Tim Pool is a better example. If Tim Pool had this sort of issue come up, the Quartering would 100% cover it.
I think that it's, the only, that I run this business like, I don't know, something different than any normal business. And we're going to stop here at our first station here. Got to refill some bags. We have these.
Some bags.
So we have walking trails that I mow everywhere for walking the dogs. And along the way, I have these little stations, these poop stations. And it's so friends and family that use the trails don't leave me little gifts. So I guess to start about the coffee stuff, I started the business probably 3 or 4 years ago, roughly, maybe.
Okay.
5, I don't know. I think 3 or 4. And
Jeremy, why are you doing a response video on the fly from things that are just in your head? Jeremy, why wouldn't you actually sit down and have all the documentation ready so that you can go over it piece by piece, so that you can knock everything down? Going based on what's in your head, you understand, people like Luther Morgan, they're not doing this off the cuff. People like Luther Morgan or Misty Moshi, they're not doing it off the cuff. They are comparing things that you've said in the past to things that you said even further in the past. They're taking current statements and juxtaposing them to past statements. They're looking at actual numbers. Then, now. They're making these data comparisons, which is why it's so compelling and so interesting, is because for people that are interested in numbers and interested in dates and interested in details, it's very, very effective. You are countering with, guys, I'm just going to go on my little, oversized, mobility scooter. It's not really, it's like I understand what he's driving. But you're going to do that, and you're just going to go off the cuff. And you're just going to basically say, you got to believe me. No evidence, no backing it up, no detail, no due diligence, no follow-up. Guarantee there's not going to be a follow-up. To go, guys, well, everything I talked about, here's the data, here's the evidence. You're just not. And the thing is, for you, Jeremy, there's no excuse. Because in theory, on paper, you should have the money to hire somebody to edit your videos. So you would be able to hire somebody to do an edited video that totally destroys Luther Morgan in theory.
And it was something to, supplement my YouTube earnings, because the apocalypse happened and, YouTube doesn't pay what it used to. It really hasn't paid the same for many years. And so many YouTubers, well, they had to diversify. They'd have to diversify their bonds. And coffee was, something that seemed like a lot of people were doing. And so what I found out was there's basically two methodologies that you could do this business. Now, I'm not going to call anybody out by name. I'm not going to put anyone on blast.
You have. In the past, you have, Jeremy.
But it's important that people understand the basics of what words mean. The people that feel like they've discovered something, don't understand even the basics about business. It's embarrassing for them. Like these guys, these anime avatar, flailing YouTubers or...
Who? No, be specific. Anime avatar, you talking about Yellow Flash? Who? But what don't they know? Jeremy, you got to be specific. What don't they know? What about your business are they not getting? Because it seems very clear to a lot of people. So this would be your opportunity to step in and say, let me set the record straight. Here is what it is. And to back it up with evidence and data. And by the way, Jeremy, a lot of the things that people have criticized you for are things that you've done that are actually wrong. So are you going to take any accountability for that at all?
Or, failed race car drivers and all this kind of stuff. They're really accidentally committing a horrible self-own in that they don't understand even the basics about business. So first, the one way you can do it is drop shipping. This is one of the common critiques, one of the dumbest criticisms of my business that's ever existed. So what is drop shipping? Drop shipping is very simple. There are companies all across this country, all across the world, that sell a product, let you put your label on it, and then make some money. They make some money selling it to you, you make some money selling it to someone else. It's that simple. In the coffee world, there's probably 5 or 6 facilities in the United States that do this. You buy the coffee for maybe $7 a bag, $8 a bag. You sell it for $12, you make your $3. It's completely hands-off. They handle all the customer service, they handle everything. That is a true drop ship. White labeling is not necessarily a bad thing. It still could be a high quality product. In fact,
yeah, that's what people have said. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with drop shipping. There's nothing wrong with a drop ship product. There's nothing wrong with that, but you got to be honest. You got to be honest. You got to be forthright about what you're doing and why you're doing it. But the thing is, Jeremy, you want to have your cake and you want to eat it too. You are doing a drop ship white label company. That's what you're doing. You're sort of like Pokimane with Mina cookies or Mina cookies. You are selling a white labeled overpriced product. You're more expensive than everyone else on the market. You are a reseller of somebody else's goods, Jeremy. You are not bringing in the beans. You're not grinding the beans. You say we. You say, I'm thinking about buying a machine for my company. But Jeremy, you have no facility. You have no factory. And if you do, if I'm wrong, Jeremy, then please, by all means, reach out to somebody and let them know where it is. But you don't have to do that because you showed everyone where it was. It's in Pennsylvania.
There's even like VPN softwares out there that are white labeled. I bet you didn't know that. I bet you didn't know that NordVPN sells white label stuff. All this kind of thing. It's a totally legitimate business model and no criticism against anybody who does it, because generally when you're talking about like, YouTuber coffee or whatever, people just want to support the creator and they don't really care that much about the coffee. This was one avenue I explored. I explored very deeply. I know all the providers. I know who sells coffee to all your favorite YouTubers. But that's not my business model. In fact, these failed investigators out like in Missouri and who think that they know anything, I've actually white labeled my product to other YouTubers. Now, could you imagine if my business was drop shipping? How could I do that? Well, it's because my business is not drop shipping. There's another aspect to the coffee business. That is, you could build your own, you could have the coffee roaster in your garage, and there are people that do that, but nearly everybody that starts out the way I started out. In fact, Black Rifle Coffee started out exactly the same way.
You're not on par with Black Rifle Coffee at all.
Use the exact same facilities that I did in many cases. It's how you start a business.
Okay, so you're admitting that you didn't have the facility to buy, you didn't have a facility, you weren't buying your own stuff. You were telling people that guys, this is the way that it's done. This is the way the business is done. Jeremy, you white labeled your product. You didn't roast your own beans. You don't grind your own beans. You don't have your own facility. No, you don't. You're a hands-off creator. You're not a producer, Jeremy. But it's like, this is mind-blowing stuff. It is. Because you just can't be honest. You want so desperately to be better than Tim Pool that you're willing to invent this entire narrative rather than just being honest. And yeah, and somebody just says, why doesn't he just show us the production? He says that he has, but he hasn't.
So you find a facility that roasts coffee and you say, I'd like to buy coffee at wholesale. And they say, we would like to sell you that coffee at wholesale. So when it comes to me purchasing coffee, I look at the green prices on the market. It's a futures market, so you buy many months in advance, and it's complicated. It's some level of guesswork where you have to understand what your volume is going to be. But anyway, I digress. So first of all, this idea that a coffee company is dropship is complete nonsense. People who don't understand what dropshipping is think because I'm not picking the beans and I'm not roasting them in my garage, that it's somehow dropship. They're dumb. People who say that are dumb. Of course.
Jeremy, you have allowed people to believe that you have a facility that you are buying equipment for, and you're not. You did not pay $80,000 for a machine to do the K-Cups. You didn't do that. You told people that you did, but you didn't. We have the transcripts. We've seen. Even though you have desperately tried to remove the videos, the transcript still exists.
I use a roastery to roast my beans. Of course. The difference is between dropship coffee and, say, my coffee is that you cannot get my specific flavors anywhere else because every one of them has been personally dialed in by me and the recipe is trademarked.
What recipe? We can buy those flavors anywhere.
Not necessarily trademark, but it is, I can't think of the right word, but it's exclusive to me. So you might see a blueberry crumble coffee and say, I gotcha. There's somebody that sells blueberry. I challenge people to buy it and then taste mine side by side and tell me if they taste the same, because they don't. I don't use the same beans. I choose the beans. I choose the flavors. I choose the flavor levels. Every flavor of coffee that I sell goes through about 15 to 20 taste tests from me and my wife to dial it in right. I choose the level that I want it roasted from my roast partner. It's very simple. It's how every major coffee company has started.
Jeremy is describing exactly what happens when you have a white label product. Jeremy is describing exactly what happens when you have a white label product. Oh my gosh. We got Heinrich with a $2 donation. Futures, he's the wolf of Java Street. Yeah. I'm going to white label my heroin. Yeah, Jeremy, you're talking about you've got a flavored coffee. You've got a flavored coffee. You are not the only one with that flavor on the market. You may come up with some convoluted way why you think that your thing is special, but Jeremy, you do zero work. Jeremy, your facility is not even in your same state. To go to your facility, you'd have to fly, Jeremy. The reality is, you do have a white label product. It is drop shipped because, Jeremy, you're not in total control of your product. You're not. You don't control anything. It's obvious. It's painfully obvious.
Now, again, I want to point out, no disrespect to people who do dropship coffee. It's totally fine.
No, you have insulted people that have done dropship coffee, Jeremy. You've insulted them before. We have the videos. We have the transcripts. You have insulted people. You've insulted. I don't do like these whack white labeled coffee. In fact, Jeremy, it's so unbelievably egregious that you would try to lie. Like, let me give you an example, Jeremy. Let me give you an example. You, on multiple occasions, you on multiple occasions have accused other people, other content creators of drop shipping, and you use it as a selling point. You use it as a selling point, Jeremy.
Think my coffee's drop shipped? If my coffee was drop shipped, like Tim Pool's coffee, like everyone else's coffee, there would not be enough.
Oh, guys, I'm not gonna name names here. I'm not gonna name, and there's nothing wrong with drop shipping coffee, but I wouldn't drop ship my coffee like Tim Pool. Yeah, Jeremy's not gonna name names, and also Jeremy's not going to he's not going to disparage drop shipping. Right, Jeremy. Okay. All right, go on. Continue.
Margin for me to sell it on Amazon. There is a reason that 99% of influencer coffee is not available.
Influencer coffee in quotations. Okay, so I get it. You know, they're not influencers. Not like you. Hey, Jeremy, you are the ultimate influencer. But I'm looking at this video. Jeremy, here's your biggest problem, okay? You live in a delusional world. And within that delusional world, you will say things in the moment, and you expect them to be treated as true. You will do this video off the cuff with absolutely no notes, and that's fine. There are some people that can do that. There are some people that don't need a script. I'm one of those people. I don't need a script, okay? I know some people may say, well, I disagree. I don't need a script. Most of the stuff that I have, I pull up before stream, and I can just sort of flow into all the different subjects that I need to. You, Jeremy, are not that way. You are lazy-brained. You are haphazard. You are logical. You want to say something like, I'm not disparaging dropshipping. I'm not disparaging white labeling. But Tim Pool, like, you have called Tim Pool out by name. You have tried to disparage his coffee thing as not as good as your coffee thing. You've tried to use him as a selling point for years. Yeah. You've tried to use him as a selling point for years. And me, by the way, Jeremy without a script dealing with his chat is a disaster. I can deal with some of the most genuinely retarded chatters that exist from like the deepest, darkest bowels of the internet that ooze forth here to try to make my life just a little bit more frustrating. I can deal with them without a script and minimal retakes. But Jeremy, you say things that immediately contradict what you've said in the past. You have tried to use Tim Pool as a selling point because you're jealous of Tim Pool. You are desperately jealous of his success. You seethe him. You seethe at him. You loathe him. You want to be him. But you're not.
It's a totally legitimate business model. But I do not, my coffee is simply not dropship by any definition. I work with partners. It's like people would act like it's a gotcha that I don't print my own coffee bags in my house. Well, you might be surprised to know that I buy my coffee bags from a partner. A partner roasts my beans. A partner.
Jeremy, let me explain this. You don't understand. No one is saying that you have to print your bags at your house, or you're not a non-dropship company. Jeremy, you don't do any of the fulfillment. Let me repeat that. Jeremy, they ship you a sample and you taste it and you're like, good to go. You don't deal with importing the beans, not really. You don't deal with any of the actual grinding. You don't deal with any of that. That is a different company. Do you know how we know? Because there is no coffee brand coffee grinding house anywhere in Minnesota because they've looked at it. So you are getting it from a different business, because if it was under coffee brand coffee, people would be able to see it. They'd be able to know where the facility is. But you keep where the facility is a closely guarded secret. You keep it a secret. You won't tell anyone. You refuse to tell anyone. Where is the grounding facility? You won't tell anyone. What you do is you pay for the printed products, the bags. You pay for somebody to deal with the coffee. You pay for people to roast it. They grind it. Maybe some of them ship it out to the K-Cup, people. But all of that is done not by a company that you own, but by another company. And we know that because we've seen that company is Jabataza. And if I'm wrong, Jeremy, then prove it.
Does a lot of things. My graphics, right? I outsource my graphics. Well, he's really an employee that does that, but I don't understand why the internet has glommed onto this the way it does, but trying to understand the internet is stupid. No one should ever do that. But it is dumb. There's no there, as Dan Bongino famously said. The truth is, these people are dumb. And they don't like me. They don't want me to succeed. By the way, you can pick up some of my coffee at buycbc.com. It takes you directly to our Amazon store. You can't get my flavors anywhere else. You can't get my roasts anywhere else. Now, you might argue, well, I can get Colombian beans from whatever. Sure, you can. Won't be exactly the same as mine. And here's another the big gotcha. So this past week, these morons, so I showed a shipping label by accident on my live.
He showed a shipping label on accident. That's one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen. Jeremy, you were in the middle of reacting to the Tyler Robinson trial, and you were trying to multitask during that trial. It means you weren't even paying attention, and you leaked where your facility is. Unless you're about to reveal that, no, it was a 4D chess move.
And what happened next was exactly what's been happening for the last year to every partner that's worked with me, because these people who are supposedly against life ruination and messing with people's money, they're all...
No. They're against scammers and fraudsters. They want to know the truth. Jeremy, you are somebody that went to DMs of Josh Moon and threatened the Keno Casino and threatened to take other people's channel down. You are a false flagger. You have been a dishonest reprobate the entire time. And people are calling you out for that. They're criticizing you. And you've reacted about the worst way imaginable. This is a very pathetic video. This is going to be reacted to, and you know that, but you haven't done anything to dispel the frustrations or any of the, curiosity. And you've allowed people to generate more curiosity by your silence. Or not even your silence. I shouldn't even say silence. You're silent about addressing the actual issues. You just want to call them retarded and idiots. But the truth is, Jeremy, at the end of the day, you have done things that are wrong and taken no accountability, and then done more things that are wrong to counter that and taken no accountability, and so on and so on and so on. People have had enough, and they're calling you out, and you know what? They have every right to.
All frauds and liars. Failed race car drivers, failed, McComic.
Failed race car drivers. So that's Camelot.
Books aren't how I want them. They're all.
That's Yellow Flash.
All failures in life.
They're failures in life. Oh gosh, but Jeremy, you're a winner, right? Jeremy, you're a winner. Oh gosh. Oh boy. Oh, don't you know? That's brutal. That is brutal. Oh man, that's a tough one, guys. You're calling them failures in life. Jeremy, they criticize you, and so does D-Day Cobra and all these other people. Your channel has been dying for a while. You are as irrelevant as you've ever been. The only reason we're talking about you, Jeremy, is because it's entertaining to do so, but also because there's an element of wanting to return to some semblance of normalcy, and people feel that the only way to do that is to make an example of you. Because you're the one that opened this Pandora's box of threatening to use your connections to tear down somebody else's channel.
And they think they want everyone else to fail. It's the crabs in a bucket kind of mentality. But I want to explain, before I explain the big expose that happened, and then I've got a little tip later in the video to share that I think is pretty fun. Just some of what...
So Shield in chat says, you know what? I'm going to buy some of that coffee now. Templar sold me. Yeah, well, you know what? If you suddenly turn gay, or gayer than you already are, will you report back to us and let us know? You know, we should keep a monitor on Shield. As he drinks the coffee, does he have more and more like homosexual tendencies? I mean, I know he has, like, as a default, homosexual tendencies, but does the coffee increase his desire to suck dick? That's something we want to be able to monitor that and see just how gay do you become when you drink Coffee Brand coffee.
These people who just want the truth have been doing. They've been going through my garbage cans. They've showed up at my partners' places of business. They've showed up at their businesses and harassed employees. They've called the FDA. Of course, the FDA laughed at them because, again, there's no there there. They've called local food companies or whatever. They have harassed my partners, the people that make my bags, the people that roast my beans, harassed them, showed up at their places of work. Why? I don't know. It's extremely weird.
Where's the evidence of that, Jeremy? There is no evidence of that. And no, the FDA didn't laugh at them. It's a perfectly legitimate inquiry. It's a perfectly legitimate question. You don't put your ingredients on your bag. Not your bag. My bag.
Weird. It's just like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of things you could criticize me on. A lot. Okay? But this is like the dumbest thing, and they've really picked on it. So when they say they care about the truth, and when they care, they just really want transparency. No, they don't. They want to harass people, emails, phone calls. I mean, I have security footage of these idiots showing up at one of our facilities. And people say, Jeremy, why don't you just sue them? It's not worth it. These people have nothing. I can't take it from them, and there's no point. But the fact of the matter is, my business model is very simple. There's really nothing complicated about it, but it's not drop.
It's very simple. You white label and you drop ship.
Simply not. Every other YouTuber that you're thinking of is drop shipping for the most part. But that's not what I do. I made the decision that I wanted to build a brand. It's the same reason I didn't call my coffee Liberal Tears Coffee or Coffee Coffee or something stupid like that, because I wanted to build an actual brand.
You probably would have more success if you had done that.
Close to being into Walmart, and it's, I don't know why they want to destroy this business. You know, we have employees, they're trying to ruin their lives, and it's pathetic. And
like the employee's life that you ruined at the Kino Casino. Like when you had that channel taken down and you gloated about that, somebody's livelihood was taken away. Jeremy, you're coming at this from the perspective of trying to generate sympathy. It's just not going to work.
And the people that are viewing this and like partaking in this and acting like they just care about transparency, they're lying. Because
yeah, you have no qualification to make that statement. You don't know, because you don't even know the reason why they're irritated. You don't know. You haven't bothered to do the due diligence. You haven't even bothered to do the basic due diligence to find out why they're frustrated. You've lied about multiple things. You have a track record of lying. You're a serial liar. You're probably more dishonest than even Hassan Piker when it comes to the sheer volume of your lies.
I see the emails from my partners when they're harassing them. They forward them to me. I see the security footage when you idiots show up at our facilities. I see your YouTube videos when you're talking about going through my trash cans. All of this to do what exactly? Discover the truth? The facts of the matter is, this is a very dedicated group of people with nothing better to do, and I respect that. Hey, people get bored, right? I'm gonna check this other one now. People get bored. I understand that. Ugh. But there's nothing there. The level of harassment, and I'm talking about, like I said, showing up. I have you idiots on security cameras, showing up and harassing some random employee of a neighboring business. Is that normal? How did you think that was gonna go? It is just the dumbest, most like, the biggest problem is the hypocrisy, to be honest with you. These people don't care about transparency. They don't care about the truth. They don't care about anything. They're not my customers. You know, they leave hundreds and hundreds of fake reviews on Amazon that all end up getting deleted anyway. It is, I don't know why they're like this, but I just feel like some of them are very smart, and then they could figure out like a better way to use their time. You know, like a more productive way to use their time, but they're not actually interested in that. They're only interested, check another station here. They're only interested in trying to hurt my business and my staff. So when these like failed race car truck drivers and dork anime avatar YouTubers and fake investigators from the Midwest act like they're really out there doing something, they're not hurting me at all. Every time they do something stupid, I just turn it into more sales. But what they're doing is they're harassing people that have nothing to do with me. This, I mean, like just some random employee at a neighboring business had some fat loser like grilling him about coffee. You know, like that's what these people are doing. That's what these dork YouTubers are promoting. And it really doesn't affect me at all. It affects people who don't even know me. People who just have an account number. They don't know anything about me, anything about my YouTube videos, anything about anything. They don't know anything about it. And it's funny because obviously, as you figured out by now, this video is bait for those idiots who are just helping me monetize this channel. Thanks to them, this channel will be monetized in only 2 weeks because they are furiously trying to get some sort of information or get some sort of gotcha. Thanks for your help, morons. Keep tuning in. Here's the other big thing, the other big gotcha that, you know, failed race car drivers and things like that, you know, they think that they've really got me. So there was a shipping label that was shown, okay? And so everyone thought, wow, this confirms that his...
Yeah. Yeah, when he accidentally, you know, doxed his own address for the company.
Coffee's drop shipped, which, by the way, if it was, no big deal. But I have made it a point to say it isn't, because it isn't.
It is a big deal.
If it was, I'd be making...
Jeremy, it's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Jeremy, it is a huge deal. Do you know why it's a huge deal? Because you said the opposite. You lied. Jeremy, you lied. You said that yours was not a dropship company, but Jeremy, you have a pattern of lying. You have repeatedly promoted and propped up products that were pathetic. Kamikoto knives. You're promoting BetterHelp. You're promoting established titles. You know?
Making a lot more money. If it was, I would have made quadruple what I have now. If it was, I wouldn't have to pay staff to pack orders. Like, we did our own fulfillment out of Arizona with my business partner. We paid staff to fill our orders. We paid for customer service. We're not drop ship, right? So that's one of the dumbest labels that have stuck around. But last week, these morons found a shipping label and they thought, ooh, I got them. So my biggest lie exposed right here, okay? Ooh, they got me. Well, the fact of the matter is, all they found was a shipping label from the company that I use to put my coffee into K-Cups. That's it. I roast 900 pounds at a time for a specific run. I send it to somebody who has a professional K-Cup machine that puts it in the K-Cup and labels it and puts the boxes all together. That's it. That's the big exposed. I hope it was worth it, dorks. Not my regular viewers, but the people that thought it was a big exposed.
Hey, Jeremy, do you remember when you remember? You know, the member berries? You remember? Hey, Jeremy, you remember when you said you bought the K-Cup machine for $80,000? You remember? You remember when you said that you did that? You remember, Jeremy? Yeah, no, of course not. Of course you don't remember. Of course you don't remember talking about buying a K-Cup machine. Oh, by the way, the video's gone, you know. The video itself is gone, but we got the transcript. So, Jeremy deleted this video. So this is from 2023. It says, okay. This morning was a little, okay, I'll go here. We bought a K-Cup machine so we can do all of our flavors, and K-Cups working really well. So, I mean, I love the fact that the transcript even puts the ums in there. It puts the ums, like, we bought a K-Cup machine so we can do all of our flavors. Jeremy, I understand why you deleted these videos, but did you not realize that there would be a transcript? Did you not realize? Thank you. Thank you, Baked Buddhist. Pepperidge Farms remembers. Yes. All right, here's another one. You guys ready? You guys ready? Let me see. Oh, here we go. About coffee run. I bought a 50,000 K-Cup machine. Oh, you bought a $50,000 K-Cup machine. Jeremy, you that's a lot of money. That's a huge amount of money, Jeremy. But you guys see the pattern here? You guys see? Oh gosh. Here we go. Here we go. Here's another one. Oh. Here we go. It was Latin in the bottle once. The K-Cup machinery is paid off. Will you consider canning your coffee? So Jeremy's talking about paying off a machine. He's talking about buying a machine. I'm going to buy the machine. The machine's expensive. Jeremy didn't buy the machine. Says buying a K-Cup machine, it's like the cost of a Subaru. It's like the cost of a Subaru.
Buying K-Cup machine, it's like the cost of a Subaru. So getting that ready to go and getting all the freshness and stuff done has been a bit of a logistical thing, but we got it handled. And I really, really, really hope that you'll all wrap. We have medium and dark roasts is by far most popular. Of course, we'll have more down the road. Of course, we'll get better pricing down the road. Buying K-Cup machine, it's like the cost of a Subaru. So getting that ready to go and getting all the freshness and stuff done has been a bit of a.
It says, if I donate $500, will you rent Chainsaw Man Reza Arc? And will you watch it on stream? If I donate $500, first of all, Doyle, you don't have $500 disposable to give, to give to me to watch an anime. You should keep that money for yourself. You don't have that much money. So, first of all, you should keep that money for yourself because you don't have like $500. Second of all, Chainsaw Man Reza Arc. I haven't watched any Chainsaw Man on stream, so I'm like, would I just have to jump right in there? Just to that arc? Will people know the story? He, why do you assume everyone's poor? Listen, I'm not assuming that he's poor. I'm just assuming, listen, I'm not assuming that he's poor. I'm assuming he just doesn't have $500 to drop on a channel for something like that. It doesn't mean that you're poor. $500 is a ton of money. That's an insane amount of money, especially to drop on my little channel. So I want to commission a game for play on your phone about Jeremy the Quartering. Oh gosh, Reno MD wants to make a video game. I call it The Halfling. This is kind of a self-report. That $500 is a lot of money? I have money but not to throw away online. See? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. A game sort of like Frogger. Yeah, well, that sounds like a good idea. A game like Frogger about the quartering, avoiding accountability. Yeah, a game about the quartering, avoiding accountability, like it's Cars on the Street. Doe says, I have money, but not to throw away online. Good. $500 would change Templar's life. Are you really trying to diminish and undervalue a $500 donation? A $500 donation is an insane commitment and dedication to the channel. That's nuts. That's an insane donation. I just think that some people don't understand and appreciate the value of money. If I donate $500, can I have exclusive end tower privileges? No. No, you may not. All proceeds would go to people who bought Quartering's coffee. That's pretty funny. Reno's got the... That's why they pay Reno the big bucks. He's got the good ideas. It says, Shu, can we buy an end tower license? Can you buy an end tower license? Should I sell an end tower license exclusively on Rumble? Does Rumble care about that shit? Do I even care about Rumble? We'd have to. It'd have to be exclusive to Rumble. It says, wait, no, MTG packs now. Yeah, Magic the Gathering. But anyway, let's get back to the quartering continuing to complain.
Thing. Yes, I pay somebody to put my coffee into K-Cups. Now people say, but you were raising money to put your own K-Cup machine together. You were going to get your equipment. You're right.
Yeah.
We did raise money for that.
Yeah.
And we were going to buy a K-Cup machine.
And you didn't.
There's basically only one manufacturer, maybe two, and they both come out of China. I talked to the guys at Black Rifle specifically about buying one of their old K-Cup machines. I talked to other people I won't name about what they did for K-Cup production. And the fact of the matter is, the machine itself, the cost was only a small part of it. Turns out once we got further down the process, you have to pay somebody to come from the machine's manufacturer, train your team, and then if it breaks, you have to know how to fix it. And we just decided, well, we don't really have the volume to justify spending $200,000.
But you you basically then you lied to your audience. Why did you misrepresent that to your audience? They thought by supporting you and donating that they were going to be putting their money towards the K-Cup machine. Did you ever correct the record on that? Did you ever set the record straight?
Like buying the machine and then only running K-Cups for us. So then I went to my partners and I said, hey, why don't we sell K-Cup services, to other people? Again, all things that a dropship coffee company could never do, by the way. And so that's something we've been exploring. But in the meantime, it just didn't make financial sense after we got all the extra costs after the machine. So it was the machine, then like some food grade air compressor machine, and then training. Then if it breaks, who knows how you fix it. And we're still strongly considering adding the K-Cup machine to our arsenal and then selling that service to other people, other YouTubers, for example, to put their coffee in K-Cups, because that costs a few bucks every time you do it. But that was it. And in exchange for that shipping label, these people called and harassed a nice family-run business for days. They called me the next day. They're like, what's going on? These are the same people that are standing on the, I am against life ruination. I'm against all this stuff. They aren't. They say they are, but they aren't. They're happy to run with defamatory statements like some of these idiot YouTubers because it gets them clicks. And
defamatory. So asking questions is defamation.
That's okay. Good for you. Now, at some point, the issue is they know it's not worth it for me. Like when you're a failed race car truck driver or you're
oh man, so you don't make enough money for me to sue you. Guys, there's not enough profit in me suing you. Oh gosh.
Your YouTube channel's basically dead. You know it's not worth it for me to file some sort of lawsuit.
Jeremy, your channel is basically dead.
Suit against you for defamation. But at some point it's going to become worth it because
oh gosh, we're going into the lawsuit arc.
Air compressor machine and then training. Then if it breaks, who knows how you fix it. And we're still strongly considering adding the K-Cup machine to our arsenal and then selling that service to other people, other YouTubers, for example, to put their coffee in K-Cups, because that costs a few bucks every time you do it. But that was it. And in exchange for that shipping label, these people called and harassed a nice family-run business for days. They called me the next day. They're like, what's going on? These are the same people that are standing on the, I am against life ruination. I'm against all this stuff. They aren't. They say they are, but they aren't. They're happy to run with defamatory statements like some of these idiot YouTubers because it gets them clicks. And that's okay. Good for you. Now, at some point, the issue is they know it's not worth it for me. Like when you're a failed race car truck driver or your YouTube channel's basically dead, you know it's not worth it for me to file some sort of lawsuit against you for defamation. But at some point it's going to become worth it because I have all of this stuff lined up, right? I can tie direct lines from these statements from certain commentators to real world harassment to their fake reviews on Amazon. Like this would not go well for them. It's just not worth it. It's better to just say positive and not so, these people were never my customers in the first place. So to summarize, we're not dropship coffee. We never were. In fact, we did dropship coffee for other people, which you couldn't do if you were a dropshipper, okay? I have partners that make my bags. I have partners that make my...
I have partners that make my bags. Jeremy, if you were to sue Yellow Flash or Kino Casino or, you got a big problem with Camelot, if you were to genuinely sue them, that would be hilarious in terms of content because you would lose. But otherwise, you would pretty much establish yourself as one of the biggest retarded lolcows of the internet. Let's see, the quartering. Quartering. threatens to... Camelot. Camel cast, rather. Camel cast. Evidence.
Defamation suits are nearly impossible for people who are public figures. The bar is very high.
Yeah.
Plus discovery will kill him.
Yep. You're right. You absolutely would. I think that would go very, very badly for him. The Coring threatens to sue Andy Worski, Camel Cast, Yellow Flash, or more. He claims that he has evidence just waiting to go that links them to harassment of damn. That's pretty.
All this stuff. They aren't. And people that are standing on the I am against life ruination. I'm against all this stuff. They aren't. They say they are, but they aren't.
Yeah.
They're happy to run with defamatory statements like some of these idiot YouTubers because it gets some clicks. And that's okay. Good for you. Now, at some point, the issue is they know it's not worth it for me. Like when you're a failed race car truck driver or your YouTube channel is basically dead, you know it's not worth it for me to file some sort of lawsuit against you for defamation. But at some point it's going to become worth it because I have all of this stuff lined up, right? I can tie direct lines from these statements from certain commentators to real world harassment to their fake reviews on Amazon. Like this would not go well for them. It's just not worth it. It's better to just say positive and not so, these people were never my customers in the first place. So to summarize, we're not dropship coffee. We never were. In fact, we did dropship coffee for other people, which you couldn't do if you were a dropshipper. Okay.
Man, that is embarrassing. Race car truck driver. He's talking about the race car driver. He's talking about Camelot, Camel Cast. Yeah, the anti-slap of Canada. That is true. Yeah, they do live in Canada. I forgot. I don't know why anyone would choose to live in Canada, if I'm going to be honest. I don't know why anyone would make that choice, but there it is. That's a choice that they have made. Man. Templar is oozing out of the Coring. That's not what that means. You're just using the word oozing. You're just using the word oozing. It's sort of like the people that use the word ad hominem, like an ad hominem attack without knowing what ad hominem means.
Brother, we just watched a complete hallucination.
Yeah. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah, it's delusional. Unfortunately, they were spawned in Canada, so it's not like they can leave. Nux Taku was spawned in Canada, and he decided to come to the United States. Yeah, you guys like that word, huh? They're just adopting your terminology like good fans. Yeah, but if they were actually fans, they use it in the right context. Yeah, just they like the word ooze. No, the word ooze has a strong. It has a strong visual power, and it's got a strong guttural reaction. When you use the word oozing or unctuous, I thought Nux was Israeli. Nuxtaku is not Israeli. Nuxtaku is an American. He was born in Canada. He lives in the United States. He's just Jewish. And we're working on that. We're working on getting Nux to not be Jewish. We're trying to convert him to Christianity. The lawsuit is laughable. We are oozers. Who remembers Ivan Ooze? Oh, you're right. Yeah, Ivan Ooze. Okay, let's see. Amy Coney Barrett.
Police can go through your garbage without a warrant. What the fuck are you talking about? So what facility? There was one guy, okay, who everyone in the detractor space knows who he is, realist philosopher. He went out, or no, he didn't go out. He was in a Twitter war with Bering, and he said that he was going to go through garbage. All right? One fucking guy.
Up at my partner's places of business. They've showed up at their businesses and harassed employees.
So this is Misty Mochi. So Misty Mochi's still in the chat, I don't know. But she went to the Meta PC's stuff. So you admit that those are your partners. You fucking admit it. And they do everything. And then she just went in there, poked her head around and said, hey, do you guys have coffee in here? And they said no. And then she left. That's harassment? You're such a little blue-haired bitch. Oh, here we got Misty Mochi in the chat. No, we haven't. Exactly. No one's harassed anybody. Your coffee company is under attack. This is the next cope.
Oh, man.
This is the next cope.
They've called the FDA. Of course, the FDA laughed at them because...
Yes, we did. I did file an FDA complaint, but that was not my first course of action, Jeremy. I gave you an opportunity to come forward and change the packaging, and you did not. And the FDA was right. And you changed the packaging. You knew that the packaging was not compliant. The FDA felted you. And when we do my Freedom of Information Act request, because I got quite the certified mail fund today, guys. So thank you so much to everyone who's still here. And thank you to everybody who super chatted and supported the stream. I really appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Okay, and we're going to find out what the FDA said to you. And we're going to see if they laughed at Luther Morgan or they laughed at you.
Again, there's no there there. They've called local food companies or whatever. They have harassed my partners, the people that make my bags, the people that roast my...
Who makes your bags? What the fuck are you talking about?
My beans. Harass them.
So Javataza. So Javataza is what you're talking about. It's because people email. So Don Flurgandy, okay, email Javataza in a nice, polite, professional email. So if it's harassment, just forward us the fucking email, Jerry.
If they are going to his facilities, we would know where they are. This man can't stop lying. Absolute hallucination.
Right. No, you're absolutely right.
If I show up at a business, any business in America is technically a place of work.
No, you're absolutely right. Like, if Jeremy actually had a facility where they were grinding their own beans and they were roasting their own beans and they were doing all this, if Jeremy actually had this facility, he would show it off to brag. You're telling me one of the most braggadocious guys on the internet, like this guy that just will stop at nothing to brag, that he's going to suddenly not do it when it comes to his facility? He has no facility. That's the reality. That's the reality. And that's what he is desperately trying to avoid, is accountability. It's gotta be honest, it's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to watch this guy work.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Anyway, people are on it. I told you, Jeremy. I told you. I said, you're doing this off the cuff. You're doing this like overly emotional narrative story. People are gonna react to it, and it's not gonna be good. Because Luther Morgan whatever you think about the guy, Luther Morgan is going to, he's absolutely going to do a video on this. Maybe not today or tomorrow. He's doing a live reaction right now, but he's going to do a full video. You know, that's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna talk about Amy Coney Barrett. I'm gonna talk about her again. Let's see. Again.
Good morning. I think
Okay,
there was
here
a
we go.
sustained effort up here to hold back on all rise as you entered, so. The Subcommittee on Financial Services and General Government will come to order. The hearing is titled Budget Hearing of the Supreme Court of the United States. Members will have 5 legislative days within which to revise and extend their remarks and insert extraneous material into the record. Before we begin the hearing, I'd like to urge members to stay focused on the topic of today's hearing, the United States Supreme Court budget request for the fiscal year 2027. This is not intended to be an opportunity to revisit the court's opinions, talk about financial disclosures of the justices, or any other issues not related to the court's budget request. I now recognize myself for an opening statement.
Okay.
I'd like to welcome both Justice Kagan and Justice Coney Barrett and thank them for being here today. This is as close as some of us will ever get in appearing before the Supreme Court. The last time a Supreme Court
Why is this guy making jokes?
justice appeared before the committee was in 2019, and we're very excited to have you here today with us. A great deal has changed over the last 7 years.
Last time, as has been said, any
gosh.
sitting justice of the
Lauro for her opening remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you and Ranking Member Hoyer. And maybe I'll start with, may it please the court, may it please the Congress. Justice Kagan, Justice Coney Barrett, welcome. Thank you so much for appearing before this committee today. The last time, as has been said, any sitting justice of the Supreme Court appeared before this committee was in 2019. And my hope is that this sets a precedent on the role of the United States House of Representatives. I fully appreciate the unique constitutional role of the court and the immense responsibilities each of you carries as members of our nation's highest tribunal. Judicial independence is fundamental to our constitutional system, and nothing about today's hearing should be understood as diminishing that principle.
I mean, that's crazy. Okay. That's
At the same time, independence does not preclude accountability. Cabinet secretaries, agency heads, and leaders of independent institutions routinely appear before Congress to explain how taxpayer dollars are being spent and to answer questions regarding their budget requests. And the Supreme Court should be no exception. Each year, Congress exercises one of its core conditional constitutional responsibilities by appropriating funds for the federal judiciary. It is therefore entirely appropriate that the court appear before this committee each year to discuss its needs, to answer questions.
So basically what this purple-haired gremlin is trying to do is she's trying to basically make the Supreme Court come and beg Congress for money so that these people in Congress can use their budget and their position to pressure them into doing what they want for their left-wing agenda. That really is what this is.
Questions from the representatives of the American people. As two of our nation's foremost constitutional scholars, I thank you. I thank you for recognizing that the Constitution vests the power of the purse in the Congress in bringing your budget before us today. Turning now to your fiscal year 2027 budget. No one can ignore the disturbing rise in threats directed at members of the federal judiciary. It is not lost on me or any of us the increasing prevalence and intensity of threats against not only you and your colleagues on the Supreme Court, but against judges throughout the federal judiciary. As of the 1st of July, there have been 370 threats made to federal judges, according to the U.S. Marshal Service. During the entirety of last year, there were 564 threats made. At this rate, we are looking at a 31% year-over-year increase in threats against federal judges. That is simply and deeply an alarming
Mostly
rise.
coming from the left.
We are not strangers here to this heightened threat environment. Members on both sides of the aisle have seen an increase in serious, credible threats of violence as well.
Yeah, but who commits the actual violence? It's almost exclusively the left. Almost exclusively. So you're not going to do this whataboutism. You're not going to do this both sides thing. You and your side of the problem. You and your side need to be dealt with, which is you need to be oppressed. You like in every way that Trump can use power to suppress and oppress your ideology and what you can do to enact that ideology, he absolutely should.
Well, this poses a danger not only to public officials, but to the institution of democracy as a whole. Our system cannot function without a reasonable guarantee of safety. In recognition of this need, we approved on a bipartisan basis more than $890 million for lower court security for fiscal year 2026, an increase.
Oh my gosh, this is tough to watch. Oh man. Hey guys, jump scare.
Request. But if you don't mind, Chairman Joyce, before I do that, I would like to say a few words about Senator Graham's untimely passing. Senator Graham, of course, was a member of this House before he became a senator. And in part, I wish to express the entire court's condolences to his sister, the rest of his family, his many friends and colleagues here in the House, in the Senate, and elsewhere, on behalf of the entire court. But I'd also like to make a few more personal comments. You know, it's not very often. Well, I'll just say that I didn't get many Republican votes when I was confirmed to the Supreme Court. And that's the usual state of things today. Not many Republicans vote for the nominees of somebody selected by a Democratic president, and
nor should they.
Not many Democrats do the same for someone selected by a Republican president. And one would not expect such a cross-party, if you will, vote, certainly from somebody from a deep red or deep blue state. And yet Senator Graham voted for me.
So yet again, the conservatives are betrayed. I don't think that's the win that you think it is. That's actually that's terrible.
And I vividly remember, because he was a vivid person, the conversation that we had in his office prior to my hearing.
So we got a member of the chat, Shield, saying, "Damn, this woman looks incredibly attractive. I would definitely take her out on a date." That would be Shield Anvil Itkovian, saying that he is extremely attracted to Elena Kagan here, Justice Elena Kagan. So I appreciate Shield. I appreciate your honesty in coming forward, and at least being honest about the fact that you find this woman attractive, that her bald head and just like ogre-like demeanor just does it for you. You know, we don't judge you here. We appreciate your honesty. You're like you like women that look like ogres that are balding.
Where he got to know me. It was a long conversation. He took the opportunity to get to know me. He questioned me with great seriousness and great knowledge about my record as Solicitor General, including particularly the various terrorism issues that office had dealt with over the time I was Solicitor General. And I still more vividly remember the conversations that we had at my hearing itself. In the last day or so, many people have talked about how funny Senator Graham was. I think Al Franken said he was the funniest man in the Senate. But what I remember...
Judge Kavanaugh was stalked by a purple hair, and his life was threatened by a left-wing ideologue that changed his gender. True fact, ours don't do that.
Yep. Rena Lundy is absolutely correct. Rena Lundy is absolutely correct. That Judge Kavanaugh was stalked by a purple hair, by a freak. And I mean, the left has been trying to incite and cause violence for years. And my only regret is that Trump has not been the president that we were promised. Trump, I wish more than anything that he would be stronger on this topic. I wish that Trump would be as tough on the left, Antifa, Black Lives Matter. I wish he'd be as tough on them as he is on Iran. I wish he'd be like, you know what? You know what? We're gonna dismantle them. We're gonna blow them the hell out of the. Like, I wish he would just like have a fraction of the energy and enthusiasm that he has for Iran for people on the far left.
About that hearing was that somehow Senator Graham made me look funny, which is a harder thing entirely, by asking me what I had done on Christmas the following year. And I'll skip the back and forth, but many people said to me afterwards, that exchange with Senator Graham was the moment my confirmation was sealed. So I want to express my gratitude towards him, not only for his support, but for approaching the confirmation process with the kind of seriousness that he did and the kind of respect he did.
Okay.
And I never got to know Senator Graham very well, but I can see why so many people will deeply miss him. And I just wanted to convey that on behalf of me, and again express the condolences of the entire court to his family and friends. We are very appreciative, Mr. Chairman, of the subcommittee's constructive engagement and support. You and your staff have been with us each step of the way as we've added security funding to meet the challenges of these times. I personally have enjoyed our regular meetings together, which have often occurred at the court. Our respective staffs also speak and share information regularly, and I look forward to our future work. The Supreme Court's funding is provided separately from the lower federal courts and split between two appropriations, one for salaries and expenses related to the daily operations of the court, and another for care of the building and grounds. We will address the operating budget today. The architect of the Capitol will submit a separate statement concerning our buildings and grounds. The court's operating budget funds the daily activities you'd expect in any federal courthouse, such as library and research services, case management, visitor services, information technology, facility management, and security. We carry out our work with relatively modest funding. Our budget represents just 2% of the judiciary branch's total funding, which in turn represents 0.1% of the federal budget. Nonetheless, we take our responsibility as fiscal stewards very seriously. In fiscal year 2027, the court is requesting an additional $14 million, a 7% increase for salaries and expenses. Over the last 5 fiscal years, the Supreme Court's funding needs have grown on average 15% per year. Aside from annual inflationary increases, recent growth in the court's budget has been almost entirely for security expenses. The majority of last year's funding increase went to shifting the responsibility for residential security of the justices from the Marshal Service to the Supreme Court Police. I first joined the court in 2010. Our security was very different at the time. The Supreme Court Police focused almost exclusively on protecting the building, and our IT department focused on supporting the latest BlackBerry devices. I didn't have a security team of my own, and I was accompanied by security personnel only when I participated in work-related public events. We began expanding our security program in earnest in 2017, initially at the behest of members of Congress. We engaged government and private industry experts to evaluate our needs on an ongoing basis. We started by expanding personal security beyond the Chief Justice so that associate justices also received small security details, much too small as it turned out. As threat assessments called for larger details and as overtime costs correspondingly rose, we requested funding for more officers, vehicles, and support staff. As events at the Capitol and other federal courthouses revealed our building's vulnerabilities, we also added new physical security systems. When personal threats increased following the Dobbs leak, we expanded our residential security and threat assessment activities. Similarly, as online attacks grew in number and sophistication, we requested additional cybersecurity resources. Our strategy has been consistent across security functions, expand incrementally but effectively to meet evolving security challenges. We are not alone in this. Although orders of magnitude smaller, the Supreme Court's police department is modeled after your own Capitol Police Department. The two departments have matching pay tables and similar organizational charts. They work closely together on threats pertaining to the Capitol campus and beyond. They also face many of the same challenges, including officer recruitment and retention, and they have implemented many of the same solutions to address those challenges. Over the last 5 years, the Capitol Police Department's annual operating needs have increased 70%, a figure similar to the court's. For fiscal year 2027, Capitol Police requested a 16% increase. As neighbors, our two police departments will continue, I'm very sure, to work cooperatively together. Our respective departments' growing needs are obvious given current conditions. The Capitol Police Chief recently testified that threats against Congress are up 50% this year. The Supreme Court Police expect a smaller but still very substantial 38% annual increase in threats this year, which follows a 25% increase last year. For some of us, those threats have come very close, and all of us live with the knowledge that they may again materialize. But as the Chief Justice has said, all members of the court continue to do their jobs as they believe legally right, adjudicating cases without fear or favor. We are grateful to the Supreme Court Police for all they do to support our ability to do so. Again, we thank you for your invitation to come here. While we cannot comment on decisions or pending cases, Justice Barrett and I are happy to answer any budget-related questions you may have.
Thank you, Justice Kagan.
Well,
now recognize myself for questions. Chief Justice.
Damn. This looks like a blowfish. You're not wrong, brother. You're not wrong. I'm going to put on my kippa and booze. What percentage of those are Hassan fans? I mentioned that probably have to be pretty high.
Robert himself, referenced in a.
Yeah, but that was Elena Kagan. She is a member of the Supreme Court, which is insane to me. That is actually insane. Crazy. Over on it says the police should be investigating the activist judges starting yesterday. Well, thank you to Muskip. That's 4 cheers over on Twitch. We appreciate every penny donated to this channel. We don't look our nose down at any donation, so we appreciate that. Appreciate that, brother. Let me see. Okay. Okay. Let me find this tweet real quick, and then we'll cover this topic. Where is... there we go. There we go. Found it. I am on Twitch. That's true. Brothers, we have been talking about physical media in the entertainment space for the past, okay, 1 second. Brothers, we have been talking about physical media in the entertainment space for the past few weeks. And one of the things that I made mention of a couple of days ago is I said the next battle as it pertains to physical media is going to be in the realm of anime and manga. So basically, they're going to limit physical anime so that you have to go to a subscription service like Crunchyroll. But also, they're going to stop making as much physical manga books, and they're going to try to move you to a service, a digital service. Now, I could not have predicted how quickly this would come to pass. So Chibi Reviews posted this statement about Crunchyroll and what Sony is doing, because by the way, Sony owns Crunchyroll, and what they're currently doing as it relates to physical manga. Now, this post was from July 9th, which was 5 days ago. It says, this is like not even 1/10 of the manga and gaming collection I own. So Chibi Reviews was posting his physical collection of media because Asmongold had said nobody collects physical media anymore. It's a dying thing. Everyone does digital, which is just not true. I said, I'm just warning you all now. The next online war is going to be over digital versus physical media for books/manga. Publishers will attempt to make all book/manga sales digital and lock them behind a subscription service. It is coming. So that was my prediction. Now, as we know, anime and manga can have some great stories. Sort of like comic books of the day, anime and manga give us a taste of the tradition that a lot of storytelling in the West has been missing for years. But we're going to be taking a look at this video from Chibi Reviews as he talks about just how unbelievably broken it appears that Sony has become. Sony, in the span of about a week, maybe 2 weeks, has done more damage to their reputation than I think than any company in history. In the span of this short amount of time, they have generated so much bad will. It is insane. Absolutely insane how much bad will that they've generated. So anyway, I want to see this video from Chibi Reviews. I want to see what he has to say. It says, Crunchyroll just did something evil to everyone. Death of physical manga incoming.
There's no way this is real, right? No way this is real. I'm reading it. There's no way Crunchyroll is actually this greedy. There's actually... I give Crunchyroll...
They're owned by Sony. So, of course they would. Right? Isn't Crunchyroll owned by Sony?
A lot of shit. But I'm not gonna lie, this might be the greediest thing they've ever done. This, hands down, might be the greediest piece of shit move their company has ever done. What do you mean you're locking out just regular subscribers from using the Crunchyroll store to buy merchandise, to buy figures and manga and stuff? What the f do you mean?
So, you're not allowing them to buy physical goods unless they're at an upper echelon tier? That's pretty diabolical. I got to be honest. That is really pretty diabolical. Isn't that insane? Like, in the anime space, you have to be this level of subscriber to be able to even access the store. Imagine that. You're not even allowed to step foot in a GameStop unless you have like a GameStop Plus pass. It's sort of like a Costco membership. You got to have a Costco membership to shop at Crunchyroll.
What? I'm reading this, and I can't even believe what I'm reading. You're telling me Crunchyroll is actually this greedy? Like, I give this company a lot of shit. I know I do. But I did not think Crunchyroll could actually stoop this low. Like, it actually could go so low that, honestly, even Satan himself would be impressed by the greed. Like, this is next level greed. Let me explain what this means, okay? This is basically the equivalent of you walking into a bookstore, and let's say you pick up a copy of a manga, you get a manga, okay? And you're like, oh, I want to get this manga, it's a nice manga. And you take it to the desk, and you know what they tell you? Oh, you can't buy this manga because you are not a premium ultra plus subscriber to our service. You're just a basic member, so because of that, you just can look at our merchandise. One day, though, you won't even be able to look at our merchandise. You'll have to pay to look at our merchandise.
I can give a better example. Chibi, I can give a much better example. It would be like if they took you had a place that you like to go, and you could go there and you could buy stuff, and it was fun. But then they basically started charging you a fee to even enter into the place, sort of like Costco. In Costco, you're not allowed to enter unless you have paid for a Costco membership. So, Costco has these decent deals, and, you go there and you buy a pallet full of whatever, but you can't even enter Costco unless you paid for their membership, which is, it's like $100 a year or something, but you're paying $100 a year to be able to shop at the store. So you can't buy a manga at Costco unless you have the membership. That's what they're trying to do with Crunchyroll. They're trying to say, we're not even going to give you access to the store unless you're a premium member. Now, I don't know how they could justify doing this. It's greedy. It's also extremely incompetent. Because the stuff that they sell at the Crunchyroll store, I imagine you're going to be able to buy at other places. And even the stuff that's exclusive to their store, are people really going to go that far to buy something from Crunchyroll? Is it that must-have? Are they that exclusive? Like, there are things at Crunchyroll you're not going to be able to get. It seems very weird. Like, Crunchyroll exclusive merch. What, like a hoodie? Do you really need a Crunchyroll hoodie?
I'm just like, that's what Crunchyroll's doing. They are legitimately telling you that you cannot actually buy merchandise from their store unless you pay some of their highest paid subscriptions. That is actually insane. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, that is probably one of the greediest things I have ever seen ever from this company. Like, what do you mean that Crunchyroll is locking people off? And if you think this is fake, by the way, it's not. Here's the source from Manga Alerts themselves. Leading to the source, which I'll pull up. This literally came out, I'm assuming, today. A new Crunchyroll store and member experience is coming soon. This August, we are transitioning the Crunchyroll store to a brand new shopping experience that will be available exclusively for Mega and Ultimate fans. The new store captures the excitement of convention-exclusive merchandise, collectibles, curated drops, and limited release products inspired by the anime series you love.
So they're going to be taking the convention merch and they're going to be putting it behind another paywall. Interesting. Very interesting. So I do think it's an interesting idea. I do like the idea that you would be able to buy convention exclusive merch. Because if you're somebody that wants a particular item and you can't get a ticket to the convention, to be able to buy one of those pieces of merch, I think is fine. But putting that behind a paywall, that's pretty egregious. That's pretty crazy.
But before the new experience launches, we're celebrating with a summer sale with 50% off selected items beginning July 14th. Please note that beginning July 13th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. PT, select items will be designated as final sell, and refunds or returns will only be accepted for damaged or defective products. We know you may have questions, and we prepared a fact to help provide more information. And so, you basically go here. What is the Crunchyroll store? In August, the Crunchyroll store will transition to a new curated experience available exclusively to Mega and Ultimate fans. So if you're below those tiers, the highest tiers, you're out of luck. I'll show an example of what those tiers are in just a second and the prices. What's different about the Crunchyroll store when it changes? The new experience will feature curated drops and Crunchyroll exclusive merch you won't find anywhere else. It'll be available for select Crunchyroll memberships from Mega and Ultimate fans. More details are coming soon. So basically, to get the gist of this, Crunchyroll is locking the basic subscribers that pay for their service out of this. They're not allowing you to even buy merchandise anymore. So let me give the timeline.
Now, are they preventing you from buying merchandise, or are they only preventing you from buying this exclusive merchandise? Is it that they're going to have basically two stores, one that everyone can access, and then like a VIP, like exclusive store for the, more wealthy clientele, the more affluent, the one with the money? That'd be very interesting to see if they're still going to be able to allow the poors, the plebeians, if the peasants are going to be able to access the basic store, and then they have the store on top of it, or if the entire store experience is going to be locked behind this paywall.
Crunchyroll buys Right Stuff. Sony and Crunchyroll buys Right Stuff. That is one of the largest merchandise sellers online to be able to purchase like figures and manga and stuff. They buy them out, and eventually they consume their store into their brand of Crunchyroll Store, basically forming a bigger monopoly. Mm-hmm. And then they don't uphold their promise of holding the orders that were held on Right Stuff to be shipped to people that are now part of the Crunchyroll brand. They don't uphold those promises at all. And then they call out and say they're canceling their physical distribution. They straight up say that. They're no longer going to be physically distributing stuff. That was announced a while ago, by the way. And actually, I'll show. Manga Alerts talks about this, actually, here. Wonder what happened to the Aniplex titles? No, here. Was there any mention on them selling physical manga and anime from their stores, or are they planning to phase them out? Basically, the fact doesn't mention anything about them phasing out physical manga and anime, but I would recommend buying your stuff soon and locking in any pre-orders. For those that don't know, it was announced a while ago that Crunchyroll would be phasing out physical stuff. They didn't mention this announcement, but we know it's coming. So, just as how Sony is canceling...
Yeah, I told you guys, it's coming. It's coming.
Phasing out, physical game disc, they're doing it to anime and manga.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, it's coming. And so all the people that are into anime and manga, just understand what's going on in gaming. You may look at it and go, I don't really care. It's coming for you. And I would engage in this conversation now, as opposed to later, after things have happened. You need to put maximal pressure on Sony and Crunchyroll to make sure that this doesn't happen. You need to maximally make sure that you put all the pressure you can to make sure that Crunchyroll doesn't continue down this path. Now, Sony is going to be difficult because it is a behemoth, but Crunchyroll, I think, can probably be persuaded more than like Sony. It's just, this is going to be the new reality if people allow it to happen. That they're going to take away your physical media bit by bit because it gives them more control. As, you know, the corporations try to take more from you, it gives them ultimate control. They have total monopoly over their ecosystem. So you got to pay more to become part of the group. And then once you're in there, they can, you know, they can say, oh, you bought this manga? Well, we say you didn't buy the manga, or we're going to censor this manga. We're going to alter it. We're going to edit it. We're going to change it. We're going to, you know, allow the, the Puritans to come in and alter things and, you know, oh, this can't exist. We're going to do a book ban. Oh, you bought this for $20? Well, you know what? It's gone. That's what happened with the PlayStation Store, with movies that, you know, people bought. They have Back to the Future, Terminator, you know, movies that people had purchased, they're gone. I don't even know how that's possible. You bought the movie, but you didn't really buy the movie. You bought a license to it. And that is why digital will never be as good as physical. Because if you have a physical manga in your hands, that physical manga, that's something that you're going to be, something you're going to be able to keep and hold on to. Anyway, I just wanted to mention this. Sony is continuing to double down on all of the worst decisions. And it seems like they want to obliterate their reputation. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. 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 This is happening across all sector companies. We're too focused on growth and now only want high customer margin. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That is what is going on. Is these companies can't maintain the bloated and artificial size, and now they're floundering. They have nothing, and yeah, they're not going to be able to. They're not going to be able to maintain, and that's going to be a problem because they're going to panic. They're absolutely going to panic. So, anyway. Okay. Oh man, this is a heartbreaking story. Indian illegal alien Josh Preet Singh, who killed several people in a semi-truck, sentenced to a 4 years in prison. He caused several deaths in California and shouldn't have been here in the first place. Send him to a foreign prison and get him. That's pretty brutal. That's absolutely brutal. Brothers, the left's soft on crime, just philosophy is so absolutely repulsive to any decent, thinking, reasonable person. So here we have yet another story coming out of California where you have this guy Indian illegal alien Jashon Preet Singh. He killed several people in a semi-truck. He was only sentenced to 4 years in prison. So look at that. So this guy should never have been in the country. He was an illegal. California goes, oh, well, you're an illegal, but I mean, and he killed a bunch of people, but we're only going to give you 4 years in prison. That is absolute madness. And the reason that I'm doing a story is to shed a light on this. Because you have too many people, too many activist judges, too many people in politics that will look at a guy like this and go, yeah, you're illegal, but politically we kind of can't do anything because we've sort of made our entire political ideology on how illegal immigration is necessary and good, and how, you know, it's mostly white men that are the evil one. But you look at this guy shouldn't have been here. He shouldn't have been granted a license. But he's driving trucks and he killed 3 people. Now, if it were up to me, this guy would hang. I mean, obviously, you killed 3 people. You're not supposed to be here. You should be dead. You shouldn't be allowed to continue living. Well, that is offensive to the people that lost their life, that you thought you were just going to be able to do whatever you wanted. So, that's just my personal view. But I really think that it's time that people pay more attention and focus on this sort of stuff more. Because yes, this is an individual isolated story. But in California, it keeps popping up. And what I want to do is, in my own way, I want to be able to connect the dots. Story after story after story. So we're going to be documenting these. We're going to be talking about these because you have somebody that shouldn't be in the country. California lets them in. I think that any judge, any politician, any person that let this person in, any person that recommended 3 years or 4 years as a prison sentence, you need to go after those people. You need to persecute those people. You need to ruin their life. You need to ruin their career. You need to ruin their reputation. You need to make sure that this stings for a long time. You need to seize all of their assets. You need to put them in jail. You need to make it so that anyone who thinks about invoking or advocating the sort of soft on crime approach that would allow this person to come into the country illegally and then kill 4 people, anyone who would advocate for that or defend that, that person should be in fear every day of the ramifications that comes from saying something that preposterously evil. These people should not be comfortable. These people on the left, these Democrat politicians, they should not feel comfortable promoting ideologies like this that allow people like this in the country. And then 4 years? Really? That's it? It says only 4 years. What the hell? Democrat hero. Another one. Meanwhile, Democrats have their pennies in a wallet because an illegal who tried to kill an ICE agent got shot. Yeah, that's also part of the hypocrisy. Is the left laments and, is furious, absolutely furious, whenever ICE shoots, a criminal illegal alien or some absolute retard that tries to attack an ICE agent with a vehicle or just tries to attack an ICE agent, period. They will be furious that the ICE agent responded. But somebody like this that took 3 lives, they don't talk about it. They don't mention it. It's never going to make it on their radar. Because like with Epstein, these people don't care about pedophiles. In fact, most of the people on the left, they support pedophilia. They support changing pedo to MAPS, minor attracted persons, because it's just a civil rights issue, right? These people genuinely have no principles. They have no values. They have no core convictions. They will say or do anything in the moment that makes them feel good. And anything in the moment that is cathartic against the people that they don't like. There's no long-term planning. There's no thought of, what are the ramifications of this? They just basically do whatever feels good in the moment. And then you just, the consequences be damned. I think that is a very sad, pathetic, short-sighted way of doing things. And I don't agree with that. And I'm going to articulate how wrong I think that is. By the way, this is from G Prime. This is from George Alexopoulos. So this is a picture he made years ago called "Diversity Our Wheels, Your Strength." And it's really just highlighting the fact that you allow these people that can barely speak the language, shouldn't be here, have no regards for, their fellow man here, because they don't care. They don't give a shit. They have no concept of the value of life. They don't. It doesn't even occur to them that, hey, maybe I shouldn't get behind the wheel of a car, or especially a truck. I don't really know how to drive. It's like no duty of care, no conscience, no morals to speak of it at all. You can't tell me that this person was a good person and got behind the wheel of a car, not knowing anything about the traffic laws in the country, can't speak the language, but you're just going to go and you're going to do that and you're going to get in an accident and kill 3 people. Absolutely terrible. This is America trucker killing 3 in India. Yeah, of course that's not going to happen because people in America aren't going to India. You see, one of the things that they won't talk about, these people on the left, is there's a reason that people come to America because America is one of the greatest countries in the world. The only reason that people say that America is not great is simply because you have people that are so spoiled and privileged and pampered that are looking at other people in America that have it better than them and they're jealous. But they don't understand how good they have it in comparison to others. They're ungrateful. And so they treat it as though if I just make a big enough stink, then maybe I'll get more stuff and then I can be like that person. It is a sad, pathetic way to try to gain more for themselves, and it fails. It fails because the policies that they implement in getting more stuff for themselves, it ruins and pollutes and destroys everything because these people are subhuman, demonic, mentally ill freaks. These are people without a soul. These are people that have given up their soul. They've given up their humanity. They've given up thinking, logic, reason. They've given up anything that would make them just like a functioning human being. They have absolutely no care about the harm that befalls other people. In fact, they rationalize it as the harm is good. There will be people that will look at this and go, good, that's what white people deserve. And I'm talking about other white people. And the problem is there's no consequence for that. You see, we as a species, should have checks and balances. So you don't want somebody to go too far, but at the same time, this is lawlessness. This is chaos. And these people embrace chaos. They accept chaos. They love it. They like it. Until the consequences actually come and affect them. Then they hate it. Then they blame somebody else. But people are dead now because of left-wing politics on immigration. 3 people are dead. And you know what? The left isn't going to say their name. They're not going to do a story on this. They're not going to talk about it. They're not going to promote this. Moist Critical is not going to do a video on this. You think Moist Critical is going to do a story on this? No. No, he won't. And I bring that up because there's some people that are just terrified of this topic. It's absolutely barbaric what's going on. And so what I would say in conclusion is I think that people, they do get desensitized. They do get sort of done with this sort of topic because there's so much of it. But you can't allow yourself to be in that position. You got to keep paying attention. You got to keep focused and realize that your voice does matter. The people that you watch matter. The people that you support, your politics, all of that matters. And being vocal about the things that you care about, that is important as well. And I hope all of you will keep that in mind as you go forward, that these people are driving on our roads. They're not supposed to be here, but the Democrats, the left, they have allowed this to happen. So I hope that there will be a surge and a change in the Republican Party, where Republicans get more extreme, more radical, demand more things that hurt the left, that oppress them, that put them in prison, that people on the right stop giving these people a pass. They're on their 1,000th pass. You need to start treating them as the enemy because they are the enemy. They allow these illegals in because they want cheap labor, because they want to feel important. They want to feel like, there's people that are going to deliver things for cheap. And that's what they want most of all. They want a working servant class, and they're willing to import it, which is absolutely disastrous. They're willing to sacrifice anything for that feeling. And you need to make these people, you need to make their lives as miserable as possible. Anyway, that'll do it. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, and I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I think I'm gonna call it quits for the night. Let's see. Okay. 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 Declaring, I don't know. But anyway, I want to say God bless. Have a wonderful evening. I hope that you guys will continue your relationship with Jesus Christ and accept him as your Lord and Savior. And it's important. It's important for your soul.